This ABC Sports Exclusive is brought to you by Chevrolet, official U.S. cars and trucks of the 14th Olympic Winter Games. Chevrolet and you, taking charge. By Light Beer from Miller, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. By the world's largest fitness equipment
pool here in Miami, Florida, on an absolutely beautiful night when much of our country is being beleaguered by blizzard conditions. We hope and we feel for you. Sit back and enjoy the Cincinnati Bengals and the Miami Dolphins, two red-hot teams in the AFC over the past few weeks. The Dolphins, winners of 5 of their last 6. The Bengals, winners of 4 of their last 5. The standings in the AFC East. And here is the AFC Central. Cincinnati trying to keep slim hopes alive, and of course Miami with a commanding lead in the AFC Eastern Division. There was another happening here in Miami concerning this man this afternoon.
Press conference, 2:45 p.m., jointly run by Joe Robbie and Don Shula. Shula signs again. Several years. Terms, money, and tenure not disclosed, but the great man where he belongs. Back to you. We'll develop the story as the game progresses.
Don Shula will watch his Miami Dolphins receive. And there he is. Fulton Walker set the Super Bowl record last February in a futile effort against the Washington Redskins. Jim Breach will kick off for the Cincinnati Bengals. Once again, the Dolphins have been hot under Dan Marino, their rookie quarterback. They have won 5 of 6. And the Bengals have won 4 of their last 5 under veteran Kenny Anderson. Bobo picked up quickly by Fulton Walker. Kozlowski tried to handle it. It goes into the arms of Walker. He's out over the 15 to the 17, where it'll be first down and 10. And Dan Marino will be making his 8th start. The 6th quarterback picked in the first round of the NFL draft this season. He has been spectacular. The number 1 passer in the AFC, 5th in the NFL, and that'll tell you where the quarterback power has been this season, because 4 of the leaders are in the NFC. There are the skill positions and an offensive line that works so well together. It's very thin, not much depth, and there has been a penalty assessed against Cincinnati on the kickoff. Our referee tonight is Bob Frederick, and he'll tell us about it.
We have a personal foul against the defense, number 59. A twist of the face mask. First down and 10.
Linebacker Jeff Shue on the special team got a hand in there, and the penalty will give the Dolphins the first down and 10, the ball at their own 33-yard line. Nat Moore, wide receiver Mark Cooper, has been spectacular over the past 6 weeks, and the single setback is Andre Franklin. A lot of speed at wide receiver. 2 tight ends are in. Dan Johnson, 87, Bruce Hardy, 84. Play action by Marino. Fires a shot, and it goes out to Mark Cooper. He was hit hard at midfield. Pass that he could have had, but again, Howard touched on it on the tees. A great release on the part of Dan Marino.
It's a little bit behind him, Frank. You see he makes a little spin, turns in there. And we got the same guy, Ken Riley, who's been doing that for so many years. Ken was right in position, made a good defensive tackle. Pretty hard ball to catch, but maybe he could have caught it.
They've talked so much about that matchup. Riley in his 15th year, 5 interceptions this year. He's returned 2 for touchdowns, and he is the all-time AFC leader in interceptions, replacing Emmett Thomas this year. It's second down and 10. Tony Nathan, single setback now. And the pitch out left side. Nathan breaks it back inside, and up close to a Dolphin first down. Good blocking out in front. Robert Jackson tripped him up. There is the 3-4 we'll watch tonight. We'll see Glenn Collins coming in when the Bengals go into a 4-man front. Many changes. The man who runs things, Jim LeClaire, the inside linebacker on the left side, a veteran of 12 years out of North Dakota. And they have some age on the corners. Louis Breeden has been around 6 years, and Ken Riley 15 years. But Riley, again, is having a spectacular year. People say that he might have slowed up, but he is having one of his best seasons ever. That would be number 13, Ken Riley. Coming up short of the first down, Tony Nathan. It'll be third down and 1. The ball marked inside Miami's 42-yard line. A pair of backs now. Nathan, 22. Andre Franklin. And play action on third and 1. This time, Bruce Hardy was there. Marino missed him. And the Dolphins gambling somewhat with the big man in the backfield. Andre Franklin chose to go to the air, incomplete.
What you have to remember is that Cincinnati leads the NFL in defense. That at this point in time, they may be as good as any team in the league. A throwback to the team that was in the Super Bowl a couple of years back and last year made the playoffs. seem to be reckoned with at this stage of the season. Very much so.
Reggie Roby, the rookie from Iowa. The punt. Deep is John Simmons, a rookie from Illinois. And Roby has hit a towering punt that carries inside the 10, takes a Miami bounce. And unfortunately, their special teams people overran that ball, but hung so high in the air, they were down under it before it hit. So they actually lost about 5 or 6 yards before they could kill the ball at the 13-yard line. A punt of 45 yards. Kenny Anderson having a spectacular year. Howard touched on it at the top. 68.3. That's the finest percentage of completion in the NFL coming into the night. Of course, if you were with us a few weeks ago, you saw that Kenny Anderson severely injured against the Pittsburgh Steelers, missed 3 games. He's back, as Howard also mentioned a moment ago, as is their big fullback, and I mean big, Pete Johnson. They have their folks back, and they're playing back to their Super Bowl year of 1981. First and 10 from the 13-yard line. Anderson on first down. Throws it out low to Pete Johnson, incomplete. And Anderson roughed up.
That Johnson almost made a heck of a catch out there.
It was a nice pickup.
Now, look at that guy. Now, you said they've been talking a lot down here this week. We'll see Kenny Anderson come back up right in the middle. Going to get a lot of action there tonight from A.J. Dewey. We've seen him play some great games on Monday Night Football. But they got Pete Johnson, the end of they say 260. He weighs 275 if he weighs a pound.
Bob Baumauer, the nose tackle for Miami, says he outweighs all of our defensive linemen. And that's true. Second down and 10. Collinsworth split to the right. Curtis up at the top of your screen, and Anderson will put it up again. Goes to Alexander. They have a screen in front of it. Alexander breaks the tackle, and Alexander will have a first down at the 25-yard line. Alexander, who worked so hard, while Pete Johnson, with a 4-week suspension for drug involvement, missed the first 4 games and was not ready to play because of a weight problem for a couple of games after that. And this was the man, Alexander, who replaced Pete Johnson.
Kenny Anderson is looking straight at Alexander. They had a little blitzing linebacker. So the linebacker is going to come toward the quarterback and try to pick up the back. Left the back open. There was nobody out there, and had it set up pretty well.
Kenny Anderson looks over the first down and 10. The ball resting right on the 25-yard line. Johnson surging into the line, and I mean surging, up close to the 30 for a pickup of almost 5. Let's take a look at the defensive unit, and it's a good one, coached by Bill Arnsparger, one of the best in this business has ever known. It is a coordinated defense. They'll give you a lot of looks, but they know what they're doing, where they're going. Brzezinski playing great football this year as a strong side, outside linebacker, tough against the run. They've lost people like every team has in the NFL. One of them, of course, Don McNeil at the left corner, but they've made the adjustments, as they always seem to do. Second down, long 5 for Cincinnati. Curtis in motion. Johnson right side. And Johnson powers up short of a first down by about a yard. Johnson coming into the night, averaging just under 4 yards with 464 yards. And there's Forrest Gregg in his 4th year now with Cincinnati, Hall of Famer.
Not been an easy year for Forrest. He began with a team in disarray. Ross Brown out. He's back now, another factor in the Cincinnati resurgence. And, of course, Pete Johnson. He admitted drug involvement. But under any circumstances, a coach who held together. And now his team is playing. Third down and 1.
Play action. And Anderson really wanted to go deep. He had a man going deep, and he checked off the man going downfield. Collinsworth, Rodney Holman, however, was the checkoff man incomplete, and so now both teams have missed on a third down and 1. And Cincinnati will punt. They bring out Pat McAnally. And a man who dropped for Miami, a dangerous receiver, a rookie 8th-round pick from Louisville. With a 9.9 average on returns. There he is, Mark Clayton.
Don, we're seeing more and more of that. Going to play-action passing with third and less than a yard to go, and you got Pete Johnson. I don't understand it.
The only thing I can say, they're just trying to get on top in a hurry. They took a little gamble.
McAnally hangs it up. Clayton, who returned 160 yards for a TD against Baltimore last week, breaks this one. And he coughs it up. The ball is loose. And Miami has got it.
Good heads up.
Clayton had a big opening.
Jensen
broke it out. And the man who covered it, Robert Sowell. And what a fascinating story this youngster is. Hopefully we could get to it a little later. Let's watch Clayton again.
Clayton's just making some terrific moves in there. I've never understood how these guys, boy, did he get hit. Number 35, Jimmy Turner, was the guy that hit him. Good move.
And the man who's on the spot has been, as he has been on the special teams for Miami all year long, the rookie from Howard, Robert Sowell.
I'll tell you, trying to get cultured isn't easy. We just went to the opera and we didn't understand a word.
Yeah, but that big guy in those tights sure could sing.
Well, at least we still drink a very civilized beer. Light beer from Miller. Light tastes great.
But us impresarios drink it because it's less filling.
We can't afford to get filled up. Tomorrow night, we're going to the ballet.
Yeah, I sure hope they do it in English.
Me too.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
The Raiders and the Chargers in a special edition Thursday night on ABC.
Robert Sowell, who pleaded for a tryout with most every team in the NFL, went to 1 year at Howard, and then he dropped out. He's been working for 3 years to get on an NFL team. Howard and I saw him in preseason, Don, against the Washington Redskins. 6 solo tackles. He made the team right there, and he's just given Miami a 1st and 10 at Cincinnati's 44-yard line. Fumble recovery. Franklin back over Bob Kuchenberg and Dwight Stevenson. The strength of the offensive line for Miami. And Franklin gets 3 to the 40-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Franklin is not having the year that he had a year ago, as you can see. The average per rush only 3.3, 5 touchdowns. He is virtually never used in 3rd down passing situations, pulled out, and he just hasn't had the value this year to Shula that he's had in the past.
2nd down and 7 for Dan Marino. Fires it out complete. It goes out to the tight end, Dan Johnson. And Dan Johnson posts the 1st down yardage. Bobby Kemp defensively there for Cincinnati.
Marino gets rid of that ball in a hurry, doesn't he? He's got that ball up, ready to throw.
That's the other thing we saw. They brought him in after Washington tromped all over him in preseason, as we see Dan Johnson limping off. But Marino came in and moved that ball club up in Washington.
Marino is an interesting story because he had a bad senior year. All of you who are pro football fans have heard that, know that. But Shula, observing him over a 4-year span, realized that on balance, he had every attribute you wanted from a National Football League quarterback. And Shula may have just, that's the first thing. Shula is a great coach of quarterbacks. He knows how to handle them, how to move them along, when to bring them in, how to develop their confidence. Bobby Beth had said this in a long talk with me in San Diego when he was talking about the development of quarterbacks. Another great quarterback coach, in spite of possible disclaimers from my trusted colleague, Tom Landry.
No, he's very good at it.
1st down and 10, you saw the indication. The ball inside the 35, resting at the 34. Matt Moore in motion. They come back to Tony Nathan. Counteraction inside the 30 for a gain of about 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5. And getting back to Marino, he was also the 6th player taken in the 1st round, 6th quarterback taken behind John Elway, Tony Eason up in New England, Jim Kelly, Todd Blackledge. All of them went before Marino.
And a fellow named Ken O'Brien.
Ken O'Brien of the Jets. We have 2nd down and 5. And a mix-up in the backfield, and Marino looks for big Dwight Stevenson, moves in behind him. I think that was a running play that Marino either missed or the back missed, and Marino had the sense enough to go into the hole where the running play had been called, so he got the blocking benefit.
And it looked like to me it was like that little fake pass and a little delayed trap block up the middle, but he may have just missed his whole assignment. You're right.
I think he was trying to get the ball to Franklin.
Yeah.
And he missed it, and he had enough head about him to follow into the hole where Franklin was going to go, and that's behind Dwight Stevenson, one of the fine centers in the league today, and we're going to have another measurement.
Some teams know how to win. Shula teams somehow do.
These are the 2 closest 1st downs we're going to have in a long time. The inspection by Bob Frederick determines that it will be 3rd down and that much.
They win an awful lot right here at home, don't they? You get them in this
second best record on Monday Night Football. Raiders at 22-1. Dolphins at 15-9.
And an interesting phenomenon. If the Dolphins win tonight, that will mean every home team in the NFL will have won their game this week. Rather ominous for Cincinnati. Franklin breaks it outside. Well, there's movement at the line, and the ball is loose, but goes out of bounds. The last possession was Miami. Ken Riley made the stop. There is no flag. There was movement by Cincinnati, but they got back. Under Franklin, he's not having the year that he had as a second-round pick in '81 with 711 yards. Of course, last year 701 yards in only 9 games, but he has missed a game, had badly bruised shoulders after the Kansas City game earlier in the year, and missed the entire New Orleans game.
Excellent blocker.
Yes, he is. And he doesn't cough it up.
He just did.
Out of bounds. That's heady.
Okay. He's going to fumble out of bounds.
Franklin again. This time stacked up by that defense that we've already told you after 12 games. The #1 defense overall in the NFL, and directed by this man, Forrest Gregg.
No back has gained 100 yards in a game this year against the Bengals. Which tells you a lot.
And it shouldn't bother Miami because they haven't had a back who's gained 100 yards.
That's right.
So it's the same thing. If we probably won't see that tonight.
Nearly halfway through the first quarter, we have no score from the Orange Bowl in Miami. Great gate sale tonight, and it looks to be a sellout, close to 75,000. Second down and 9. Nat Moore in motion. Franklin right side, and again stacked up.
Oh, boy, Yarsky made a quick move inside, slipped his block, stepped right in the hole.
The only man on the field is big as Pete Johnson.
That's right. That nose tackle is a huge man. Now watch this.
Big nose tackle. See this move to his left? Really faked those Stevenson out that time. He only weighs, they got him listed 290 pounds. Well, what can I say?
Third down and 9, Joe Rose. He's the receiving tight end for the Dolphins, comes in. Tony Nathan out of the backfield, also a fine receiver, 22. The wideouts, Cooper and Moore. Marino fires and he gets it in complete. And the man who had a resurgence this year with the injuries to Jimmy Cephalo and Tommy Vigorito comes down with it. That is Nat Moore for a first down inside the 10.
It's hard to really determine the difference in tenths of seconds, but with an arm like Marino, this ball would not have been completed by a lot of quarterbacks. Zip. That thing is really zipped in there. Didn't have to move. You're getting that ball to him in a hurry.
But the comeback of Nat Moore, as we said at the very top of the telecast, has been a critical thing. He makes all the key catches for this team as he did just then.
Ninth play of this drive coming up. That's time remaining in the first quarter. First down goal to go. Franklin's piled up, and you better believe that Boyorski was at the bottom of that one. The big man we spoke of a moment ago. Gain of maybe a yard. It'll be second down goal to go. The ball close to the 8-yard line.
They can't make a first down without scoring. You'd expect them to throw a couple in here, wouldn't you? They're not going to run too much on that group.
Boyorski weighs more than Roosevelt Greer did when he was with you on the Giants, right? I didn't think anybody ever did.
We were afraid to weigh Rosie. Second down, goal to go. Woody Bennett in relief of Andre Franklin. And Marino's back. And Marino spins out of trouble. And fires Cooper, and Cooper takes it in the end zone.
All right.
8th touchdown of the year.
Would you believe a rookie quarterback executing that play?
That was really, I thought he was going to run.
And this young man, he got his start 8 weeks ago when Dan Marino did, when they benched Duriel Harris. A combination of youngsters scores for Miami.
He's going to get a lot of pressure. Number one, you got Ross Browners in there. That's just a terrific, I hate to say it, just athletic move. The ball was thrown a little bit behind Cooper. He made a good move down there, didn't he? Catch that ball.
That's why I said at the top of the telecast, he doesn't panic, and you saw the best evidence of it then.
The Dolphins, using 10 plays, get it into the end zone. Marino to the spectacular Mark Cooper.
Super duper.
He is that. He has some long touchdowns. this year. 85 last week against Baltimore, leading the NFL in yards per catch as we watch Uwe von Schamann for the conversion. Gets it down. And the Dolphins have moved out on top. They lead 7-0. We have 6:16 remaining in the first quarter from a jam-packed Orange Bowl in Miami. We'll be right back. The Miami Dolphins used some time, they used some plays, and they got an excellent performance from their quarterback, Dan Marino, and, of course, their outside receiver, Mark Duper. Great effort by Marino, spinning out of the arms of Ross Browner. Uwe von Schamann sets the kickoff. John Simmons is deep. Ray Hort is also back there with him. And we'll watch Ray Horton, a rookie from the University of Washington. And Horton takes the calculated risk, and it pays off with 4 yards to the 24-yard line, where it'll be first down and 10 for Cincinnati.
Another trademark of Shula teams, the play of the special teams. An utterly consistent team. That's Miami. That always appears to play above the quality of their personnel.
He does have a way of putting his mark on them, doesn't he?
Dan Marino, cool, calm, and a collected man.
Chevy Top
24-yard line, the Cincinnati Bengals. 5-7 on the year, going against the Dolphins. 8-4, leading the AFC East. The Dolphins a win tonight, and they'll be 2 games up on Buffalo, 3 on the rest of their division. This is Cincinnati's Pete Johnson, pulling into that line and just carrying bodies for 3 yards. It'll be second down and 7.
I would think that Johnson, at 270, he's obviously overweight. Came in, hasn't worked too much. But if they're going to use him, they got to use him in the first couple of quarters. He's got to just wear out by the fourth quarter, wouldn't you think?
Particularly tonight.
That heat and
not much humidity, but it is 75 degrees.
And there's always some humidity. We're too close to all these oceans.
Second down and 7. 4-man front for the Dolphins. They bring in rookie Mike Charles. And there's a violent collision. It was Pete Johnson moving out in the flat. And he ran into a big man in his own right, Bob Brzezinski.
But the ball.
He won.
Yeah, but look, this ball hits Johnson. A little bit out, a little bit low, trying to catch it. Brzezinski.
Well, I'll tell you this about Brzezinski. As everyone knows, he was unhappy with the Rams. And he was happy about the trade to Miami. He is having one tremendous year.
And he's unhappy about Pete Johnson.
I'll tell you what.
Third down and 7. Again, Anderson back. Blitz is on. He reads it, fires it, and it goes out complete. Going to Steve Kreider, who doesn't get the acclaim as the other wide receivers, Isaac Curtis and Chris Collinsworth, but he's made some big plays, particularly when you hark back to 81, the Super Bowl year, and the 12-4 season the Bengals had.
There's a good pass pattern, and they brought Kreider from the left all the way over to the right, and they flooded this right zone, cleared it out with the 2 receivers that you mentioned, Frank, and left Kreider into the outside to pick up the first down.
That's where Anderson is the precision passer. And once Frank said to me, nobody from Lehigh could play in this league.
Frank said that?
No, he did not.
I thought you said that to Frank.
First down and 10, Pete Johnson. Up the middle, and Brzezinski again against Pete Johnson, and it's nice to remember that they spent their collegiate years at the Ohio State University. And both of them came up top draft picks. Gain of about a yard. It'll be second down and 9.
As a matter of fact, what Frank said was, I love it when kids from the smaller colleges make it big in the league.
I think everybody does. That's always fun.
Lehigh produced some great wrestlers, I'll tell you that. Second and 9. A reverse, Chris Collinsworth.
Another reverse by Chris Collinsworth.
And there'll be a loss back close to the 30-yard line. A loss of 6. Charles Bowser makes the stop as Chris Collinsworth and Pete Johnson on the reverse did not fool the Miami defense. It was very disciplined defense. They look like the proverbial fire drill at times, but they know exactly where they're going. They're unlike the Raiders in that respect. And yet, at times, they look very similar.
Like Frank's classic line at Atlanta. Here comes White Shoes.
There goes White Shoes.
Third down and 14 following the loss. Collinsworth split wide to the right. Top receiver for the Bengals with 55 receptions. Kreider up at the top of your screen. Anderson picked off almost.
Oh, he had it.
Great effort going up to come down with the ball with Lyle Blackwood looking for his 4th interception of the year. Had it cold on a pass intended for Collinsworth.
Now, that ball was as poorly thrown as you're going to see Kenny throw one. He got a little bit of pressure, but not a whole lot. Had time to throw. Just had some big hands up. He overthrew. I don't know what that one was. That was not a very good pass. Lyle, one of the Bruce brothers down here.
That brings on Pat McInally to do the punting for Cincinnati. Mark Clayton has dropped, settles in at the Dolphins' 25-yard line. McInally just does get it off. Almost blocked. High kick with Mark Clayton. There catches at the 22-yard line. It was Charles Bowser who almost got a hand on McInally's punt. McInally coming through with a 46-yard effort. Miami will have the ball at their own 23.
People think I always take the train because I'm afraid of flying. Me, afraid? I take the train because it's the best way to enjoy light beer from Miller. Rolling through the Rockies and all across the Midwest, nice, less filling. And it tastes great coast to coast. That's why I take the train, not because I'm scared of anything. Hey, what happened to the light?
Beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Maybe I am a little afraid of the dark.
All right, we're back at the Orange Bowl. And Shula has had all kinds of distraction. Injuries, nothing seems to bother him or his team. Shula explains.
We've had a lot of things happen to our football team this year. There have been a lot of distractions and some injuries that have really hurt us. And, of course, the big distraction was the United States Football League for myself personally for a period of time. But I tried to live with that, and then I was finally able to put it to rest when I decided that I no longer wanted to negotiate with them. But I try to give all my attention to the upcoming opponent, and I expect and demand out of my players, and I should do it as the coach.
All right, the man has character, the man has integrity, will develop his story during the game.
Frank, 23-yard line, first down and 10, the Dolphins. They lead 7-0, 3:34 remaining in the first quarter. Under Franklin, right side. Former Cornhusker to the 25-yard line, a gain of almost 3. We'll call it 2nd down and 7. Eddie Edwards defensively there for Cincinnati.
I tell you, they've got some outstanding defensive linemen. Edwards, Borowski, Boyarsky, Ross Browner, and that Crumry they bring in. Those guys moving up and down the line. No wonder they're the top defense in the league.
Their linebackers aren't chopped liver either.
That's right.
Reggie Williams, Jim LeClaire, whom Frank talked about.
Tom Dinkel.
And Marino unhappy with the call. There's the personnel involved in it. We've seen so much of it this year. We talked about it. He has to use a timeout. Sometimes they become expensive later.
The Raiders and the Chargers in a special edition Thursday night on ABC.
Another interesting goal for young Dan Marino. He came into tonight 5th place in the NFL, 1st in the AFC, but no one has led the league in passing as a rookie since Harry Newman did it back in 1933. Who did he play with?
Well, Parker Hall in 39, of course.
Parker Hall was with the then Cleveland Rams.
I remember it well. I was a year old.
2nd down and 7. Marino back. Looking for Duper. And Duper almost got it defensively. He was working back there against the free safety who had roamed over to help Ken Riley, Robert Jackson.
I tell you, that Marino can throw.
Let's see. That was, he threw that from about the 15, didn't he? Let's see. 15. That ball traveled 60 over. Well, about 65 yards in the air.
And it was beautifully thrown.
Hey, Robert Jackson played it well, but he just underplayed it. He had plenty of time to get back there. That almost went the distance.
Jackson almost mistimed his jump. He almost jumped just a little too quickly. And
Marino now from the shotgun on 3rd down and 7. Sent it out of the lineup, so Stevenson snaps for Miami. And Marino this time firing incomplete.
Well, that almost almost looked like a mix-up in patterns. They're all kind of standing around looking at each other. He threw into a pretty good crowd. Fourth down.
I presume it was Clayton he was intending to pass for, but in any event, it's incomplete, and we'll see Reggie Roby come out once again.
He's not working against a weak secondary either. When you have Riley and Breeden in there together, you've got the experience and knowledge. Cincinnati at Cleveland. Remember, he was out injured, Frank?
They did, and they picked on the secondary. Cleveland winning that game. Roby, the rookie from Iowa, the kick to John Simmons, the rookie from Illinois. Roby had to hurry to get it away, but he booms one once again, and Simmons makes the fair catch at the 28-yard line. So Roby hangs up another beauty, a 47-yard effort, and Matt Moore getting a little extra treatment on the sideline.
That was the key play of Miami's touchdown drive. The 3rd and 9 pass, a gunshot to Nat Moore.
Ken Anderson comes in. They're working on Nat Moore's neck. We harken back to that game, Don, when we saw Keith Gary of the Pittsburgh Steelers get a hand on Kenny Anderson's face mask, almost twisted his head off. He was out for 3 games after that.
One of the ugliest injuries I think I've ever seen. It really looked like they had ripped his head off. Pete Johnson.
Left side. And Johnson gets his customary 3 to 4 out to the 33-yard line. Giving 4, it'll be 2nd down and 6.
Well, I suspect they're going to have to change their offensive pattern. They're stacked against Johnson now, Miami is, and that's a brilliantly coached team defensively by the incomparable Bill Onsberger, who may, by the way, be leaving to become the head coach of LSU. At least the story's been printed. More on that in a moment. Here's the kick.
If he does leave, whoever gets him has got a winner. 2nd down and 6. Johnson fumbles the ball, and Miami, I believe, has it. Johnson fumbles the ball, comes out of the pileup. Glenn Blackwood of the Blackwood Blues brothers turns it over, and Miami has great field position. 37-yard line of Cincinnati.
It's interesting that the Blackwood brothers, we've talked about it, each have had difficulty in finding a home, played in different clubs, and they come down here.
And they fit right in, and they play scintillating football.
They do. You would think that that would be a weakness in their defense, is the secondary. Neither of the boys have a great deal of speed, but I'm told that they just are so intense, so enthusiastic about what they're doing, smart young guys, and they know the defenses and play them well.
Lyle Blackwood played 3 years with Cincinnati before moving to Baltimore, and the Dolphins got him as a free agent. On 1st and 10, Marino rifles a string complete, close to a 1st down. It goes out to Nat Moore.
There's not a half dozen quarterbacks complete that pass, I will promise you.
Let me tell you.
Unreal.
Something else as we look at a low angle from behind. You take over, Don.
Well, it's just not much fake in here, and he's just running a deep sideline. Maybe that's just because it's so hard for me to throw. But that ball is right out there. You didn't have much time to work with it. He was not badly covered. He had Lewis Breeden, who we talked about earlier, is good defensive back.
1st and 10, Miami inside the 23-yard line of Cincinnati. Tony Nathan. Flag is down, and Nathan is down after a pickup of 3. Robert Jackson making the stop, but again, the flag is down.
That's probably holding on offense. You rarely see Miami penalized. That's another trademark of Shula, but this time you do. And another thing, notice the way they capitalize on turnovers, Frank. One of the best ratings in football, year in and year out.
We turn it over very often for Don Shula, and you'll be traveling around the league. He does not like that. They throw few interceptions. They fumble very seldom. Washington, of course, a remarkable record in that area. Here's the call.
Offensive holding, number 87, 1st down.
The tight end, Dan Johnson, was holding. So it'll be 1st down and 20 to go. The ball now at the 33-yard line. Matt Moore right, Mark Duper left. That's Moore, top of the screen. That's Hardy in motion. And Marino puts the other other tight end, Dan Johnson, and Dan Johnson gets to the 25-yard line, where it'll be second down and 13.
This kid's amazing, Marino. He could have flattened out. He got beat up pretty good by New England in that crushing upset when the Pats beat the Dolphins, and Don Shula simply said it was their day all the way. But instead, he came right back. Shula wants one thing in his young players, and he can impart it. That's confidence, and that's what Marino has.
Second down, they mark it inside the 25, so it's second and long, about 12. Marino rifles another shot, and it gets in there complete in front of Louis Brady. And it is Duper this time.
That's fun to watch.
Who said a rookie can excel in this league? Look at Marino.
Both wide receivers, 5'9". This is Duper. Nat Moore also 5'9". He has that great speed, 4'3" for the 40. At one time, he was part of the 400-meter NCAA relay team, the championship team, along with the late Joe Delaney and Victor Otis of Baltimore.
We know.
Third and long, and we'll see the Dolphins from the shotgun with 14 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and the Dolphins on top, 7-0. Marino underneath to Nat Moore, and Moore puts the head down, gets the first down at the 12-yard line.
Notice every key pass. Nat Moore.
He used to be their big play guy. You know, we'd have him down here. He's making it where he comes back in, picks it up.
And behind the feet of Mark Duber. Now, Nat Moore can work underneath, and he's become very effective. We'll be back.
I crushed a lot of quarterbacks in my day, and I'm real sorry. So I wrote this letter. Dear quarterback, I apologize for the way I've treated you. Please let me buy you a light beer from Miller. Light's my beer because it tastes great. I'm sure it's yours too, because you little guys can't afford to get filled up. See you soon. Sincerely, L.C. Greenwood.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Once again, for those of you who might be surviving the blizzard conditions that has really covered much of the Rocky Mountains, now moving into the Midwest, we're glad you're with us tonight. We feel for you. We hope you're enjoying our telecast from Miami, where the Dolphins lead 7-0 and have a first down and 10 near the 12-yard line of the Cincinnati Bengals. Marino fires, and it goes out to Dan Johnson with a big tight end. And close to another first down. He'll have it. It'll be first down, goal to go.
He now has that secondary playing scared. You know that?
Well, we've said it, so many times. But look, he sits there. He's got plenty of time to throw. And man, when he decides to throw and pulls that trigger, that ball gets out there in a hurry. Dan Johnson,
second-year man out of Iowa State, and again, they do so many different things with Miami. They play three tight ends: Johnson, Hardy, and Rose. And while coming in tonight, neither the three of them had over 13 receptions. Collectively, they had 49. So their tight ends are effective. First down, goal to go. Tony Nathan hurdles high into the end zone, touchdown Miami. So they have taken the turnover and capitalized with the touchdown. The Dolphins 8-4, a win tonight. 2 full games up on Buffalo, 3 on the rest of their division.
2 turnovers terribly costly to the Bengals, and Miami succeeding in spite of a penalty because of the brilliance of young Marino. And if Miami continues at its present pace for the 8th straight year, they will be the team that has suffered the fewest penalties in the league. A tribute to the discipline of the great coach.
Uwe von Schamann for the conversion.
he almost hooked that, didn't he?
He really did.
Whoa.
Just got in.
14-0. The Dolphins over the Bengals. 63-yard drive. This man. The Flint, the Enterprise, is with us tonight in a sparkling night at the Orange Bowl in Miami.
You'd think with 204,000 cubic feet of helium, it could get higher than that.
I'll pass that.
They're up there with Mike Fitzpatrick, the pilot, and the cameraman.
How about Art Pepper?
Art Pepper working up there tonight, and Uwe von Schaman
It's not
getting
there.
set to work. John Simmons is deep for Cincinnati.
Go, Uwe.
Uwe drills it deep, and Ray Horton stays in the end zone. Not only deep, that was a very high kick. Let's take a look at the numbers for the first quarter. It was a Miami quarter.
Miami dominating, and that Cincinnati turnover critical, as you saw. Miami keeping the ball much of the quarter, and Miami doing things their way.
Rodney Tate comes into the lineup for Cincinnati. Put up to the top of your screen, just activated today. He's been out 4 weeks with a thigh injury. The big man, Pete Johnson, remains a single setback. Anderson on first and 10 is back. Anderson has a man open. Isaac Curtis saves goodbye to this one. He's been around 11 years, but no one's going to catch Curtis. That's 80-yard touchdown.
That's what happened when they turned to the pass for the first time on first down. Frank.
Also what happened when they got Bill Judson that made a defensive error and trying to knock it down instead of playing that man.
William Judson did go for it, and that is one spot where they missed the youngster they lost in training camp, Don McNeil. You see Judson, as Don said, going for the interception and the deflection rather than playing the man and giving up the 15 yards, and Isaac Curtis turns in the Bengals' longest play from scrimmage this year.
So very quickly, it's a ball game again. He doesn't have the speed he once had, but in that case, he was so free, so alone, he didn't need it.
Remember him the first few years? Free sprinter.
That's right.
And he's still got a lot of it. Reach for the conversion. To the uprights, and the Bengals on the very first play offensively here in the second quarter have put 7 on the scoreboard. An 80-yard combination, Anderson to Curtis. He came into tonight needing 332 yards to go over 30,000 yards in his career. He would become the 8th quarterback to do so. And he just collected 80 on one shot to Isaac Curtis. Freaks the kickoff. Holden Walker is deep. Walker will bring it out. Got some room. Whoa! And Walker out over the 20, close to the 25-yard line, where he's up into there. The first man, Steve Maidlow.
Don, there's no question you're right. As we look at Kenny Anderson there, helmet off. No question you're right. Judson misplayed the ball. He took a risk that he never should have taken. But at the same time, there's no question they had to change that pattern of Johnson up the middle of first 2 downs. And Cincinnati did.
They changed it, didn't they?
Yes.
In rather dramatic fashion.
Yes. With startling results.
Double covering on Collinsworth. They left single coverage. Judson and Isaac Curtis. And the old Graybeard produced an 80-yard touchdown. First down and 10, Miami. And Miami comes right back. Nathan. Wait a minute. Tony Nathan. Finally, it's Louis Braden who takes Nathan, who can do so many things to you. Good receiver out of the backfield. Great acceleration. Doesn't have blazing speed. But he gets into Cincinnati territory at the 33-yard line. Look at the trap block.
Really good announcement. They kind of confused LeClaire. Looks like good block coming across. That's Johnson.
And Kuchenberg with the trap.
Yeah, man, what a nice move by Tony to come in there. You know, the Bengals coming in tonight have only allowed an average of 64 yards rushing against them per game. They've already given up more than that.
Yep. Miami at the 34-yard line. Under Franklin. As the Dolphins go back to the single setback. Franklin, left side. Another big gaping hole. And trips as he goes through the line of scrimmage. He'll get got 8 yards out of it, right behind John Gieser and Kutzenberg once again.
That Miami offensive line is doing some job. When you do that to this Cincinnati defense, and we've told you about the statistics throughout the year, the inability of the running game to work against the Bengals, then you know your offensive line is getting off as possible and as effectively as possible. Second down and 2.
Duriel Harris in the ball game up at the top of your screen. He was replaced 8 weeks ago by Mark Cooper. Franklin, tippy-toeing.
He who hesitates is lost.
He had a first down 2 yards in front of him, and he was looking for the gap when he should have had that head down and bowling for it. He'll be short of the first down.
Glenn Cameron's covered a lot of them through the years, and Glenn just kind of keeps doing that same thing. They're a tough bunch of linebackers.
Yet it was Glenn who was suckered on the trap play that sprung Tony for the long gain. I don't know if you noticed.
I actually thought that it was LeClaire, 55, but I knew one of them was in there.
Third down, less than a yard earlier in the game. On the very first drive, Miami did not go to the run. They lined up in this formation. Play action, put the ball in the air. This time, they do the expected, and there's a fumble. Franklin tossed it up. Bobby Kemp is there for Cincinnati.
Big break for the Bengals.
Wasn't it?
So Cincinnati, down by 7 points, trailing 14-7, gets their turnover at their own 22-yard line. Each team now with a turnover.
Don didn't like that.
No, he didn't.
Let's see if we can see who caused the fumble. I missed it first time around. Yeah, that's Breeden in there, wasn't it?
Breeden.
Yeah, Breeden.
Initially on the tackle.
Yeah, nice.
Bobby Kemp up there gets the recovery.
You know, Frank, even Shula is human and has his jinxes.
I'm glad to hear that.
Plum Phillips always says Shula is the greatest. He can beat Hizen with Yarn and Yarn with Hizen, and Plum Phillips has won 5 out of 6 against Shula.
First down and 10, Cincinnati. The crowd, a capacity crowd, it appears. Crowding defense as once again Cincinnati with Charles Alexander tries the middle of the line.
That's the man who recovered the fumble.
It's the Kemp.
Third-year man out of California at Fullerton. It'll be second down and 8. Alexander got a couple. Rodney Tate checks in once again for Cincinnati. Just activated today, number 23. He often works out of the backfield. Good receiver. Second-year man, 4th-round draft pick out of Texas last year. Rodney Tate, number 23. Anderson. Curtis, and they miss once again, and Isaac does his thing to the 35-yard line for a Bengal first down.
He looks like youth reincarnated tonight.
Well, they've replaced Judson with Gerald Small, and Small almost did the same thing. Didn't replace him, they had him over in a different position. This is not the same kind of pattern. That's just poor tackling right there. Blackwood misses him.
Small missed initially.
Had to come back. Ernie Rome.
35-yard line. Cincinnati getting a turnover at their own 22. Johnson and the big man lumbers to the 40-yard line. They get 5 yards out of it.
The more they open them up with the passing game, the more Johnson will get the big yardage they want on first down from him when they use him rushing on first down.
In other words, the pass is going to set up the run tonight.
If that's not true,
We
you've
have
got a scoop.
And we'll pause 5 seconds, allow our stations to identify themselves.
At least.
Eyewitness News follows the game on WABC-TV, New York.
Orange Bowl of Miami. The Dolphins leading the Bengals 14-7. Second down and 5. The Bengals have the ball at their own 40-yard line. Here's Big Pete Johnson. This time steps back into a crowd of Dolphins held for a yard pickup. It'll be third down and 4th. And we'll see the platoon changing as the specialists come in.
He stepped back in the middle and leaned on him for a half yard.
The play had the inventiveness of a frog.
A frog.
Kreider comes in for the Bengals. The Dolphins looking over. Bill Arnsparger sends his defensive folks in. That will mean Paul Langford, number 44, and Mike Kozlowski. 6 defensive backs. Kreider, top of your screen. Collinsworth, single receiver to the left. Johnson on third down and 4. Gets a yard. That's it.
Boom.
And Forrest Gregg trying to cross up Miami. And they are not a team you attempt that very often. They play their areas. They play their defenses to perfection.
Well, I can't cope with that call, Ribbit.
There's Bill Arnsparger. I mentioned a statistic earlier, and Don Shula in 20 years has had one losing season. It was 1976, and that was the year that Arnsparger came back to the New York Giants and was not available. Let me tell you a little bit about that man.
What a statistic. 1 year and 20.
They were 6-8 in 76. There's Mark Clayton, dangerous return man. 60-yarder last week against Baltimore. From the 7-yard line. Flag is down as Clayton works his way over the 15.
Always a flag down.
Always on the punting team. And the return teams, the blocking, of course.
The only time we didn't see it, Frank, was last Monday night when Kirk sprung.
Did he? 74 yards. Stunning everyone in New Orleans.
Did y'all have a good time in New Orleans?
Had a great time.
It's a good city, isn't it?
Marvelous.
There was no foul. The flag will be picked up.
We still haven't seen one.
Good.
So we have 8:15 remaining in the first half. The Dolphins over the Bengals 14-7. When we come back, it'll be the Dolphins' ball at their own 16-yard line. Mark Clayton, a spectacular rookie from Louisville, is being attended by the medical staff of the Dolphins, their trainers and their doctor. He started to walk off the field and stumbled and went to his knees, so they're looking at him right now. While they'll do, we'll tell you we're going to have a little bit of a traveling show coming up your way very shortly. Thursday night, we're going to be in San Diego for the Raiders in San Diego. Now, the Raiders can win a playoff spot with a victory there or a tie with San Diego. But remember, Dan Fouts is back. He had a big win yesterday over Denver. And then Minnesota and Detroit. And what can you say about the NFC Central Division? They just kind of alternate. They'll be going for first place a week from tonight.
Yeah, they're each 7-6 in that stunning Thanksgiving Day rout of the Steelers by the Lions had to be seen to be believed.
They're tough at home, aren't they?
They really are. This kid is groggy.
He started off the field, stumbled, got up, continued to try to get off the field, and stumbled once again, and they're going to take him inside. We'll get a report as quickly as we can on Mark Clayton.
The Raiders, if they beat San Diego, they win their division, right? That's not a playoff. That's the division.
Yeah, but that's going to be tough. They're intense rivals, the Raiders and the Chargers.
Everybody
at all levels.
Raiders.
Yeah.
That's right.
And of course, the Dolphins have their eyes on the Raiders. The Raiders, what are they, 10-3, 3 up in their division. And of course, the first tiebreaker, and the Dolphins want to get into the playoffs, but they want the home field advantage throughout it. The first tiebreaker is head-to-head. The Raiders defeated the Dolphins in the third game of the season. First down and 10. Nathan, left side. Nathan runs into trouble over there.
Nothing to it.
And it was Bobby Kemp up there first from the strong safety position.
Up until that play, Miami had already rushed for 89 yards against the Bengals. And we've told you about the Bengals' defense against the rush this year. There are the figures. Rushing defense last 6 games. The Dolphins game, of course, the current one, and there are the big 85 yards. I'd say
They just
89.
lost 4 right there.
Okay. The word on Mark Clayton is, and we'll continue to try and update it, is that it was not a concussion, as we had suspected. They are going to x-ray his ribs. He took a shot in the back on that punt return. We have a second down and 14. Marino steps back in the pocket, lost one up. Duper is there, and Duper with another long reception. He was averaging 21 yards coming into tonight. He gets a first down from Miami at the 45-yard line on a 42-yard effort.
I think if Danny had a little bit more time to throw this time, he could have hit him at a little bit quicker pace. You see, right, well, he had time to throw. I thought he got hit when he did. That old ball just wobbled a little bit. He got it down there.
Why did you say a rookie quarterback couldn't make it in this league?
I didn't, not since 1960 have I felt that a rookie quarterback could make it in this league.
Well, 1939, Parker Hall.
Parker Hall. Cleveland Rams.
First down, Miami, 45-yard line of Cincinnati. 2 high-powered teams. Miami winners of 5 of their last 6. Cincinnati winners of 4 of their last 5. Tony Nathan works over Kuchenberg and Stevenson for about 3 yards. It'll be second down and 7. Tony Nathan this year, leading receiver coming into the night. 481 yards rushing to go with it. They have really worked this young man. Fifth-year man out of Alabama. Works out of the backfield as a receiver so well. He has now stepped out. Woody Bennett has come in as a single setback, number 34 for Miami. Duper is there, and Marino hangs one again on a string. First down, Miami. Working in front of Ken Riley, and Riley has got to respect the great speed of Mark Duper. He was single coverage, and he had to play off him.
Frank, it's almost, I think, almost impossible for a defensive back to cover this if he's in man-to-man coverage. He's got to respect speed. He's got to play off a little bit, play that position, and if that ball can get out there in a hurry, you're going to pick those. I love that little quick out pattern. That thing is
he
open.
could put a perfect spiral on it. Yeah. It would drill Duper right through the chest. That thing is wobbling, and it's out there in an instant.
That's right.
First down, Miami. Inside the 35-yard line of Cincinnati. Franklin, the single setback now for Miami. He works left side. Just a good block from Giesler. And up to the 30-yard line before Robert Jackson is there. A gain of 4. It'll be second down and 6.
A.J. Dewey. Dewey. All right. Last year's hero. What a game he had in the playoffs against the Jets. One of the most memorable you'll ever see by a linebacker.
He does want it pronounced Dewey, so we will go along with his wishes. As a matter of fact, on the back of his jersey, he has a little apostrophe in there. And when you're that big, you usually get your wishes. Second down and 6, 4:31 remaining in the half. Marino on the rollout. Lost one up, and Duper crossed him up. Duper on a fly route, covered well by Louis Breed. Thought he could break it back, and just as he did, Marino laid it up in the corner.
He threw that one, well, I guess, whatever he did. He threw it a little quickly. He had a couple of guys opening up, coming back across the middle. A little rollout type pattern. It's a good pass, I would think, for a guy like Marino. He can run, throw the ball on the run.
Duriel Harris comes in, so we'll have 3 wide receivers. Nat Moore, 89. Duriel Harris, 82, and Mark Duper.
They're going to take Franklin out. You know that. Franklin hadn't caught a pass all year. He's only caught 3 in 2 years before this one.
That's right.
That's a little handicap, I would say.
Nat Moore, Duriel Harris to the right. Third down, long yardage. Up at the top of your screen is the speedster Mark Duper. Head-to-head with Ken Riley. You can see it up at the top. Now it's Louis Breeden. They moved over to the right side, working against Duper. And again, the Dolphins have to call timeout. Marino not happy with the defense or the personnel available. So the Dolphins are down to 1 timeout, 4:22 remaining in the half, 14-7 over the Bengals. It's all about 50,000 seats for the Orange Bowl tonight for this meeting, but they had a tremendous at-the-gate sale, and it appears to be a jam-packed sellout as we look around the Orange Bowl, and that would be somewhere around 75,000. And right now, the Dolphins leading the Bengals 14-7, 4:22 remaining in the half, are looking over a third down and 7. They're at the Bengals 30-yard line. The Dolphins now from the shotgun. Rose in motion. Marino fires over the middle. Nat Moore dropped one that would have been a first down for Miami.
That was not Marino's fault. The folks in Pittsburgh must be loving this showing by Marino, even though he's not with the Steelers. They know how great he was with the Steelers until the senior year when he had all kinds of troubles. And, here's a guy. He can kill you.
He has hit one, has Von Schaumann, a 52 this year. He's only 13 of 20. Certainly can reach it. Don Strott does the holding. The veteran Bob Kuchenberg will snap it back and attempt at 47 yards. Plenty of distance. Yeah. And the Dolphins add 3 points.
I said he can kill you. That's Von Schaumann territory, even though he was in a temporary slump.
17-7, the Dolphins lead.
All right, we're up 15-7
15. We got this game won.
Yeah, you guys are buying a light beer from Miller. Yeah, let's Philly.
One out to go. Yeah, what can he do to his mouth?
Hey, I'll keep the change. Here's Rodney!
Any pinch in his left? Here I am.
Come on, Lee! Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less. Hey, wait a minute. This game isn't over yet. I caught that ball.
John Simmons, number 25, and Ray Horton are deep for the Cincinnati Bengals. 4:11 remaining in the half. And Uwe von Schaman, who has just hit from 47 yards out for a Dolphin field goal, will put the leg to it.
Number 25, Simmons.
What a plus he is, too, on kickoffs. He keeps you pretty much in the touchback area. This one is high, but it settles at the 2-yard line where Ray Horton will bring it out. And Horton to the 20-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 Cincinnati. A return of 18 yards. Cincinnati now down by 10. A beauty coming your way at 3:30 Eastern. ABC's NCAA college football. Number 3 ranked Auburn against Alabama. One of the great rivalries in the Southeast Conference. Auburn headed for the Sugar Bowl January the 2nd. And if Alabama should win, there would be a 3-way tie for that conference. Auburn, Georgia, and Alabama. Of course, we'll also have some of our stations bringing you the NCAA College Football Division III Final and Division II Semifinal. College football Saturday at its best here on ABC. On 1st and 10, Anderson is back. Pete Johnson.
Nice throw.
Puts the head down, and there's a massive collision. Brzezinski, his former teammate, Ohio State, bouncing off Pete Johnson once again. We can replay that again. I'll tell you something. You got to have some courage just to come up and hit this man. He weighs about 275.
Delicate little drop pass by Anderson. Drills over the head. You see Johnson get up a little head of steam. Watch Brzezinski, 59.
Judson was the second Dolphin to bounce off.
1, 2, 3. They got 5 of them over there to get him down.
8-yard pickup. 2nd down and 2. Rodney Tate comes into the lineup. Johnson remains. This is Rodney Tate. And Tate gets the 1st down.
I tell you, they're hitting. They are hitting.
That was Glenn Blackwood, 47. They have
Bruce brothers.
No regard for their bodies. Is that what they say?
I'll tell you, you can't when you come up in that strong safety position. You run into guards, you run into lead backs.
Glenn's he's the baby of that group.
Yeah, he was a draft pick of the Dolphins in '79, 8th-round pick. Stopped Don Shula into picking up his brother, Lynn Lyle, from Baltimore. Anderson on 1st and 10. Rodney Tate tried to get outside. Nothing doing. There is a loss of about 3.
I don't understand this, Don. Quite frankly, you're down to 2:20 and counting down in the half. You're trailing by 10 points. You've got to put that ball in the air and at least get into field goal position to get within a touchdown again.
One reason I think you run that ball at better to one of the best defensive ends in the pass rush in the league today with 16 sacks in it tonight. He's got to think next time, well, I can't think past totally. Right now we're going to go down to the 2-minute warning. That, too, perhaps is not the finest of generalmanship. As Cincinnati lost a lot of time. We'll be back after this from the National Football League. The preceding announcement brought to you by Anthony Munoz of the Cincinnati Bengals. They're all-pro tackle, and, of course, the National Football League. Kenny Anderson got things straightened out. Rodney Tate had a 3-yard loss, so Anderson steps back into the huddle. 2nd down and 13. Bengals with 3 timeouts remaining. That's plenty of time for a veteran like Kenny Anderson if he can get something happening. 3 wide receivers. Kreider joins Isaac Curtis and Chris Collinsworth. That's Kreider in motion.
Kreider's open.
thinking out of bounds, and he does stop the clock out at the 47-yard line. First down, Cincinnati. Yeah, he can move all of that. If I knew my physics better, I'd talk about mass and velocity and collision ratio.
Well, I'm glad you don't know any better, because I don't want to hear that. But look at Michael Kozlowski, number 40. He's the first guy that bounces off. Now we got one of the Blackwood boys. He says, I'll try this. Look at that. He didn't even budge him.
Like Captain Marvel.
That's right. He's so round, so firm, so fully packed.
Bengals welcomed him back even more than they welcomed Laura back today. Anderson. The big one. Collinsworth. Oh! Diving catch by the great one.
Oh, yeah. That's why
we had not heard much from him. You knew we would, however. He's been double covered all night.
Now they've done it, and they've kept themselves very much in this ball game.
Beautifully thrown ball. Gerald Small is the defender. But look at this ball. Now, that's a tight spiral. And Collinsworth's concentration, the ball's over his head a little bit. That's a terrific catch.
What hand.
First reception of the night for Collinsworth.
Frank, I really believe he is one of the great receivers of the last 10 years. He is just a spectacular athlete.
And he is having a great year. He's 3 yards short of breaking his own record that he set single-season record for Cincinnati in '81. I'll tell you, I've been out there many, many years ago, and that's one of the most difficult catches you'll ever have to make. It takes total concentration, the ball coming right over your head, and he does it week in and week out.
First down pass.
First down pass. Somehow, someone is listening to you over there on the Cincinnati Bengals bench, and they're in trouble.
If they are.
You've got a scoop. Anderson, you know, it is good to see him back. It's remarkable to me that through the years his percentage of completion has been so high, because he doesn't throw those little dink passes over there all the time to get that percentage up.
One of the few quarterbacks, Don, whose outside receivers have more completions than anyone else on the team. You know, you go in and watch teams nowadays, and the backs are the leading receivers. They're tight end, but not so with Cincinnati. And you're right about the percentage. You set an NFL record a year ago. That was an old Sammy Ballmark.
He's 7 of 11 for 186 with 1 touchdown. Kenny Anderson from Augustana, which is about to play Union.
Let's come right over the top of his head.
Yeah, it kind of through the receiver. You can see if it's almost over his left shoulder rather than the right shoulder.
You've talked about sticky fingers.
Just good concentration. He just got his eye on that ball.
1:27 remaining in the half. The Bengals have 2 timeouts. They have a first down goal to go against the tough Miami Dolphin defense. The Dolphins defensively first against the pass in the AFC coming into the night. Johnson hammering down close to the 2-yard line. It was a scramble for the ball. And no, they're saying that
ball was down.
The ball was either down or recovered by Cincinnati. Morris Gregg quickly regrouping. Getting the proper offensive people onto the field. They'll start the clock. And it starts ticking from 1:17.
The practically perfect play.
I like it. Chris Collinsworth working a little extra. Picks up one of the balls that had been accidentally left on the field. Here we go. Second down. Goal to go. The ball at the 3. Johnson hammering inside the 1-yard line where it'll be third down. Goal to go.
Morris is developing a little twitch over there, chewing that gum so fast.
Coaching will give you a lot of twitches.
Well, it really would. It's going to be awfully hard to stop him now. You know they're going to, you would think they just give it to him one more time and letting that clock run on down.
As I say, you got to be nuts to get into it. And you got to, 3 years later, you'll be certifiably nuts.
That was Bill Onspaga, whom you just saw.
In their goal line defense, the Dolphins. Johnson breaks the play, touchdown Cincinnati. So the long shot, Kenny Anderson to Chris Collinsworth has set up the touchdown for the Bengals. Johnson doing the work as he gets his 10th touchdown of the season. 17 seconds remaining in the half.
We anticipated this kind of ball game, and it's proving out. Cincinnati, at this point in the season, one of the best teams in football.
Jam Breach will try to bring bring it to within 3. 17 seconds remaining in the half. A lot of action, of course, around the league yesterday. We'll bring you up to date on that with our highlights at halftime. Bengals draw to within 3 of the Miami Dolphins. The score 17-14.
All right, let's look at Philadelphia against Washington yesterday. Played it at RFK Memorial Stadium, and the Eagles played it tough. First quarter action, zip, Theismann, play action, fake. And then over the middle, deflected, and into the hands of Art Monk, the lad from Syracuse. And so it's 7-0 Washington. Second quarter, 21-14, Washington. And watch Theismann. He rolled right, downtown, Charlie Brown, and watch him go all the way. Touchdown. That made it 28-14 Washington, but Washington had to struggle and hang on to win 28-24, cinch a playoff berth.
Look at the Orange Bowl, jam-packed, and they watch their Dolphins give up the touchdown. The big shot to Chris Collinsworth, capped by the Pete Johnson drive. And you watch Joe Theismann, I'll tell you, he seems to get better with every game, as far as I'm concerned. Second-rated passer in the NFL, behind Bartkowski after 12 games. They've been seesawing back and forth this season, Bartkowski and Theismann. Colton Walker is back for Miami, but quite frankly, with the Bengals and 2 timeouts, the Dolphins are playing it conservatively. They're thinking that the Bengals might go for the onside kick. They do not. Reach hangs it up, dropping to take it, Tony Nathan. Nathan is covered at the 17-yard line. The clock indicating 12 seconds remaining in the half. Dolphins have got themselves into a real fight tonight.
They got off, looked like they were going to just totally take this game apart, and lost a little momentum. Didn't make the touchdown, came back, and these Bengals have had 2 big plays, 2 big pass plays. That can turn this thing around, can it?
Isaac Curtis, 80-yard touchdown pass. Long shot to Chris Collinsworth, his only reception in the first half. But it led to the second touchdown for the Bengals, and the Dolphins will be content to go in at halftime. They are deep in their own territory. The crowd, with a muttering of boos. This man, however, making the wise move as time expires here in the half, with the Dolphins leading the Bengals 17-14. We'll be ready with our halftime highlights. The Orange Bowl, the Miami Dolphins broke out quickly in the first quarter. This is the first score of the ball game. The rookie quarterback from Pittsburgh dropping back, firing, spinning out of the arms of Ross Browner is Dan Marino. Great effort. Gets the ball to the youngster from Northwest State, Louisiana, Mark Duper, who's having a great year for the Miami Dolphins, 7-0. First play of the second quarter, Kenny Anderson, first down shot. Isaac Curtis runs the little square out. William Judson goes for the deflection or interception. Mistimings it, and down the sideline goes Isaac Curtis. That brought the score to 14-7. And then a little later, Kenny Anderson back once again. Looking deep, Chris Collinsworth, his only reception of the first half. In a full sprint, again, the victim is Judson, a diving catch, a beautiful catch by Collinsworth. That gave Cincinnati a first down goal to go. A whole bunch of bumps and bruises later. Pete Johnson pulls it in. And Cincinnati back in the ball game. As we get ready for the second half, it is the Dolphins by 3 over the Bengals, 17-14. And the Dolphins will kick off. The Dolphins on the season 8-4. A win tonight, they're 9-4. They go 2 up on Buffalo in the AFC East, 3 on the rest of the division. Of course, they're looking for that home field advantage in the playoffs. John Simmons has dropped for the Cincinnati Bengals with Ray Horton as the second half gets underway from a sellout crowd in the Orange Bowl in Miami on a wonderful night for football. Ray Horton, so huddles in the end zone for the touchback. Let's take a look at first quarter stats, and then we'll switch them over to halftime.
All right, in the first quarter, Frank, as you can see, Miami dominated. And then as we move to the second quarter, we find Miami still dominating in first downs, in rushing yards, but in passing yards trailing, and the total yards favoring Cincinnati. Time of possession, not really that material. 3-minute edge for Miami.
The great one, Kenny Anderson, 13-year veteran, looks over the 1st and 10. The 20-yard line, Alexander's in motion. And on first down, Anderson will put it up once again. Has to hurry it as he was being pressured by Doug Betters. Tries to get it to the checkoff man, Dan Ross, and that could have even been a design play. It looked like Ross had a screen in front of him.
It did, but it was a slowly developing screen if it was. They were looking downfield.
If Doug Betters around, they better develop a little more quickly.
The whole play was tentative. 16 sacks for Doug Betters, having a terrific year. But passed yesterday by Gastineau of the Jets, who's at 16 and a half. Betters would like to change it.
The old half a sack.
Half a sack back.
Second down and 10. Johnson, left side, turns back in and collides once again with Tim Bocamper.
You better get word to the bench again. There they go running.
Tim Bocamper, who earlier in the season had a very sore knee, missed the Los Angeles game. Got his first 2 sacks of the season only last week.
I may turn the coaching job over to you.
No, thank you. No, thank you. You're doing a heck of a job.
We have a 3rd and 9 for Cincinnati. At their own 21-yard line, 3 wide receivers in. Steve Kreider joins Isaac Curtis and Chris Collinsworth.
Well, they're playing them close over there.
Anderson, that was a great effort trying to get it to Pete Johnson. He was looking downfield. He was getting tremendous pressure for the A.J. Duay.
That was almost a half a sack for old A.J.
That'll bring up 4th down. Half a sack, of course.
I don't know.
Refers to getting a lot of help from your friends, I assume. So here's Pat McAnally, 2 fine punters in the game tonight. McAnally coming off a weak year last year when he had a sore knee, is back up to over 42 yards and kicking well here tonight. The deep is Fulton Walker. He's in there for Mark Sykes, who is injured. This off the side of the foot of McAnally. Short kick, and the Dolphins will have great field position inside the 43-yard line of Cincinnati.
That really sets the Dolphins up. Half a sack is a co-op sack, Frank.
Let's just see if we can see what he did with his drop. He just almost missed that ball, didn't he?
Yeah, flat missed it, did Pat McAnally. 15-yard putt. Dan Marino comes into the lineup. Dan Marino, 9 of 16 in the first half, 118 yards, and of course the 1 touchdown to Duper. Anderson, 7 of 11, 186 yards, and his touchdown shot to Isaac Curtis. First down and 10, Miami. And the Dolphins work inside with Tony Nason to the 40-yard line, a gain of about 3. It'll bring up second down and 7. As they mark it short of the 40, it'll be second down and 8.
The Dolphins have won every game this year in which they were leading or tied at halftime. And they've lost every game this season in which they trailed at half. Now, how about that? Does that mean they've already won?
Well, that doesn't make it statutory.
No, it doesn't. But they're the only team in the NFL that has adhered to that pattern.
Of course.
Okay.
Bill Arnsparger always working with the defensive unit on the bench, making adjustments constantly. Second and 8. Marino gets another string. It goes out to Duper, and Duper collects an inbound. First down, Miami near the 30-yard line. Ken Riley trying to cover.
He really throws the rope.
All right, watch Riley react to this play when Duper makes his move to the outside. Now, Riley's got pretty good position. Now, that's not bad. Now, that ball really left Marino's hand just as you saw Riley take that step back to go up the cover. 2 steps that he couldn't get there.
There's not a half a dozen backs in the league that could play that as well as Riley played it. He didn't turn his back. He made the proper move.
Good position.
Ball perfectly thrown. First and 10. Marino. And again, a good shot to Duper. This time incomplete, and again, Riley on the coverage. Perhaps distracting the youngster.
It's a little difficult for a young quarterback to throw this pattern because in a way he has to throw it to a spot. There are people all around him. Again, good coverage by Riley, but the ball was right there. If anything, it could have, maybe Duper lost his vision when he made that
and
cut.
It was a good call, a slant pattern.
Second down and 10. Nathan now, single setback. Moore split to the right. Cooper up at the top of your screen. Again, covered singly by Riley. On the ground this time, Tony Nathan. Big opening, and Nathan for another Dolphin first down inside the 20. Upended by Jim LeClaire.
See, it doesn't make a difference what down you run. It's how you run on that down. This is a second down and 10. Quick pitch out to the outside. Strongest defense against the rush.
This relates to your admixture of play call.
My admixture, absolutely.
That play selection has been excellent.
Tom Dinkle was number 52. You saw him kind of being oozed out of the way there. Oozed on out of the way.
Tony Nathan, what a plus he is offensively. Run the ball, block, good receiver. First and 10 Miami, near the 18-yard line of the Bengals. Franklin, the left side, breaks it back to the middle. Gets short yardage, a couple, up close to the 15. It'll be second down and 8. Cincinnati, 5-7 on the season. As the big crowd looks on, Cincinnati got in so much trouble early in the year with all the distractions. 2 players having time for the USFL. Chris Collinsworth, Dan Ross, the suspension of Browner and Pete Johnson. They're back on the track, however. They won 4 of their last 5 games. They have those people out there that took them to the Super Bowl with a 12-4 record in 1981. And the Dolphins, of course, they were in the Super Bowl last year. On second and 8. Good defensive play. Closing down hard.
And Reggie Williams seemed like they forgot to block on Reggie that time. Reggie says, don't do that. At least pay some attention to me.
Very cerebral player, Reggie Williams. He reads plays so quickly. And playing on that weak side, he is free so many times, and he makes the stop.
Young man from Dartmouth College. And boy, what a physical regimen he put himself through in the offseason. Building up his body.
What a participant he is in the community, too. I've never seen anybody on more charity boards.
On the shotgun, third down and 7. Marino wide open in the end zone.
All right.
It is Cooper, his second touchdown of the night. And his 9th of the season.
Larry Breeden, number 34, just was faked completely out and down on the field. He may have even hurt himself.
He got turned around so bad he could have hurt himself.
Just look at Marino here. Moving up in the pocket, the way he kept his poise. And then the rope to Duper.
See Breeden down over there on the other side. Let's see if we can figure out what happened. Man-to-man coverage.
He tried to hold him and then tripped over Mark Duper's feet. Duper, 5 receptions, 84 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had the best average per catch coming into the night, over 21 yards. That'll slim down somewhat, but he has been a force tonight. Von Thomas for the conversion.
Missed it. Did it go through?
It went through.
Boy, what luck.
He gave the crowd a thrill. There is Mark Duper, second-year man out of Northwest State of Louisiana. His second touchdown of the night from the youngster Dan Marino.
The Raiders and the Chargers in a special edition Thursday night on ABC.
Back in the Orange Bowl of Miami, one of the 70,000 plus. That's one of the most wealthy ones here tonight, Jimmy Connors.
Little firebrand. You're still fighting that $10,000 fine?
I think I have to, Howard. I can't get it away.
Stick by what you believe in. You're the best.
You need a loan, Don?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, always use a little extra.
He's got it.
Great player. Proud of him, too.
Yeah, sure enjoy it.
It's good to see you.
Jimmy.
A lot of people have written him off. Here we go, Miami to kick off. Simmons is back along with Horton. Von Charman drills it into the end zone. Simmons very wisely stays there. That ball, again, very high. Von Charman hung it up. Oh, Kenny Anderson will drop the offense out. Once again, the Bengals in trouble, trailing now by 10, 24-14.
You give those Dolphins half a break, they're going to score on you. That 15-yard punt set them up in great field position. They only had to go about 45 yards, and
that's another
they'll do it.
Another Shula trademark. Capitalized on opportunity.
Dolphins with the three-man front. Baumauer, Betters, and Bocamper. First down and 10, Cincinnati. Anderson throws it beautifully to Isaac Curtis. And Curtis again stays on his feet, turning William Judson around. And I'll tell you, Anderson fired that ball before Curtis had made his break.
He did.
And I'll tell you, Isaac picked up 6-7 extra yards with the move.
Look at that follow-through.
Watch it.
He had old Judson's getting himself introduced to Isaac tonight, isn't he? I'm telling you. He said, you're going to see Curtis do I don't know what you used to call this thing. We call it like a comeback or an acute route. He's going to go deep and come back at a slight angle. Awfully hard to... That ball's thrown like that. You're not going to knock it down.
Make it look like a fly and then break it off when the defensive back drops. On the first down, Anderson again. That man is wide open. This is Collinsworth.
They have found Judson.
And Judson is getting a workout. Collinsworth down to the 31-yard line. First down, Cincinnati. And they strike so quickly, do these Bengals.
Don't they? Look at the yardage Anderson is picking up per pass. That's the key.
That's pretty good pass blocking, I'd say, up there in the middle. Didn't get any pressure, really, from either Baumauer or Doug Betters that time.
At the 31-yard line, first down, Cincinnati. They trail by 10 points. 10 minutes remaining in the third quarter for Miami. Alexander in motion. Anderson. Collinsworth was the receiver and is picked off. Ernest Roan dropped right into the pattern that Collinsworth was taking, hit him right in the numbers, and Miami gets another turnover.
You kind of got a feeling that unless he did this, they were going to score because they were moving that ball pretty well. I don't think he saw it. I mean, if he did, he sure would want it back.
He couldn't have.
Yeah. Right through the middle.
So the Bengals have turned it over. The Dolphins will have a first down and 10 at their own 30-yard line. Ernest Roan, his first interception of the year. The Miami Dolphins cheerleaders, they used to be known as the Starbrights. Used to be. They are now the Miami cheerleaders. All of them. First and 10, the Dolphins at their own 30-yard line. Marino now 11 of 19, 143 yards, a pair of touchdowns. As the rookie showing almost unbelievable composure in his 8th start of the season. Checks off, Tony Nathan. And Nathan out of the 35-yard line, gain of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4 as Eddie Edwards drops off to make the stop.
Safety valve type pattern there.
Yeah, let's take another look at Marino. I'd like you to comment on the quickness of his release.
It's just, he really does have a quicker. He holds the ball, drops it a little bit low, but his arm is so strong, he just can get rid of it so fast. The thing is, when he delivers it, he gets great follow-through. That one was a quick little flip. He just got great follow-through, great velocity.
Great shot, too, Don. You saw him reading the coverage. He didn't get the coverage he wanted. He knew right where to go.
Yeah.
2nd down, 4. Nathan. He gets out to the 37. Short, of course, with the first down. It'll be 3rd down and a long 2.
That turnover could be killing. The thing about Miami is you just can't give them opportunity. And the interception by Ernie Roan, so typical of this well-balanced and stable team. There's Ernie. You remember the tragedies to the linebackers, the death of Rusty Chambers, the death of Larry Gordon, both great players, and yet somehow the current crop of linebackers does the job.
3rd down, it's a long 2. The Dolphins from the shotgun. Yeah, Marino under pressure had to get rid of it. It was Ross Crowder just unimpeded on his pass rush, and he leveled Marino, but Marino was able to get it in the area of a receiver.
Instinct. He sensed him, got rid of the football.
So the Bengals defense is firmed up. Reggie Roby comes on 4th down. John Simmons drops for the Bengals. Reggie Roby, big man.
He may hit it up to the blimp this time.
Yeah, he gets right up here at eye level. First couple of punts that will be hit. The rookie out of Iowa. That's about eye level. We're on the third deck here in the Orange Bowl. This time off the side of Roby's foot. A low kick, but it takes a Miami bounce. And Simmons plays it on the one hop and gets out to the 25-yard line before he's hit by Totolo. Not bad field position now for Cincinnati. They'll be at their own 25-yard line. 47-yard punt. And a 6-yard return by Simmons. 7:58 remaining in the third quarter. On a beautiful night. Page keeps saying it, but it is spectacular here in Miami, and we hope all of you people that being again, beleaguered by the weather throughout the country are enjoying the telecast. First down and 10, Cincinnati has the football at their own 25-yard line. They trail the Dolphins 24-14. Play action, Pete Johnson. Shot goes to Isaac Curtis. Good defensive play by William Judson, who has got to start thinking, Don.
Yeah.
What are these guys doing to me out here?
But they had that play read perfectly.
We didn't think we were going to have an illegal man downfield.
There was a flag drop kind of almost after the play was over. It was dropped right in the middle, but I don't have any idea what they're talking about. I see Cincinnati moving back.
I think they might have had an illegal man downfield. They were pulling out there to get in front of that screen. Referee Bob Frederick will work it all out for us and give us the word. A little consultation. They can call. We'll pause 5 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves. I think we have it. Multiple options being discussed. Here's Bob Frederick at the call.
Ineligible member of the passing team, number 65, was downfield. Ineligibly, it will decline and be second down.
The reason they have declined it because there was a 2-yard loss on the play. It'll be second down and 12 rather than first down and 15. Cincinnati at their own 23-yard line. Anderson to Johnson. And they're starting to hunker up a little bit now as Johnson just puts his head down. This time he collided with Ernst Crone, who looked as though he just braced himself. Line up by number 86, Steve Kreider, as the Bengals go to their 3 wide receiver offense. Kreider and Collinsworth will work at the top of your screen. Isaac Curtis, double covered out to the left. Anderson, under pressure. He's a good runner, but he does not get away from A.J. Duay.
He had no choice. He was beautifully defensed. He had nobody to throw to. He is a good runner, but somehow Miami was there.
They were all back there, 6 defensive backs. Paul Langford had Mike Kozlowski had joined the defensive 4 of the Dolphins, and Anderson had no place to put it.
I watched Chris Collinsworth the last 3 pass patterns, and to me the mark of a really outstanding receiver is a guy who looks as if he's the number 1 pass. He's the number 1 intended receiver every time he goes down for a pass. He ran every pattern as hard as he could. That's a real mark of a throw.
McAnally had a 15-yard effort a few moments ago. This time he drills one to Fulton Walker, who's in there in place of the injured Mark Clayton. And Walker gets it to the 40-yard line on a 37-yard punt and a 6-yard return.
So again, the Dolphins have good field position.
We have 6:11 remaining in the third quarter. The Dolphins 24, the Bengals 14.
The RCA Digital Command Center is a remote control for your new RCA Color Track 2000.
Hard-hitting football game from the Orange Bowl in Miami. The Dolphins have the best of it, 24-14, 6:11 remaining in the third quarter. The Dolphins first and 10 at their own 40-yard line. Mark Duper set up to the top of your screen. Under Franklin, single setback for the Dolphins. And Franklin. Reggie Williams on the left side behind Ed Newman. Good defensive play. Reggie Williams sliding out right at the line of scrimmage. And the work never ends. The offensive unit gathered around, discussing options. They need a few options. They're having some problems.
They're coming inside. They're going outside.
The big plays have been long bombs from Anderson. 80-yard touchdown pass to Isaac Curtis, second quarter. 48-yard pass to Collinsworth to set up a touchdown. That's the extent of their scoring. Second down and 10. Nathan underneath, circles wide open. Great effort by Nathan to the 46-yard line. Another first down Miami, and I'll say it again, this man can beat you in many ways.
Including a forward lateral. Remember that one?
Not a very deep pass, not a very long pass, but how crisply it's thrown, right on the money. Never had to break stride. He almost fumbled when he hit the ball, when he hit the ground.
They would like to work David Overstreet in there a little more often behind Tony Nathan, but this man just produces every time you give him a call. First down and 10 Miami. Marino strong arms it. Trying to get it deep to Duper, and this time Riley was right there. Crowd doesn't like it.
Well,
Marino tried to go into double coverage, Riley and Jackson, but it was Riley who was in perfect position.
You see him try to cut in front. What the crowd, I think, was booing about is he made contact before the ball got there. And he looks like he hit him in the head, too, in the eye, too. I don't really understand. The whole thing is about interference, as we know through the years.
That's the way we began.
Yeah, it really is. But it has something to do with obstructing the right to catch the ball. But I thought the defensive back, he should have the same right. But he did make contact before the ball got there. And evidently, it was not interference again.
Second down and 10. Marino now 13 of 23, 163 yards and a pair of touchdowns. Look out. Hardy is buried by Tom Tinkle. There'll be a loss of 3 yards back to midfield, and it'll put the Dolphins in 3rd and 14.
This is a big down. Under any circumstances, even if the Bengals hold, they don't figure to get anything like decent field position. But the Bengals must hold if they're to charge back and get back into this game.
Dolphins with a 10-point lead. I would assume that whatever play has been sent in to young Dan Marino, it is a conservative one. Let's don't turn it over. If we can get it, fine. If we can't, we'll punt away, and the Bengals will be deep in their own territory.
Don Shula signed today. Several years. Amount, tenure not disclosed. Head coach, Dolphins. No movement. All rumors put to rest.
End of story. Marino, and he goes down. It's Eddie Edwards getting his 12th sack of the year for the Bengals. And a loss to the 47 as the Bengals defense playing much better here in the second half.
Don Shula, together with Dolphins owner Joe Robbie, opened the press conference today with a great line. He said, I signed for a one-room efficiency apartment on Biscayne Boulevard.
That, of course, a reference to what, the penthouse in the Trump Tower?
Yeah, Donald Trump, flamboyant owner, New Jersey General. With whom? Oh, there's the catch.
Roby almost puts it out of the stadium. Wow, that was high. Simmons forced to make the fair catch, and he is down close to the 10-yard line.
Of course, he did negotiate, interested in security for his wife Dorothy and all the children. He did negotiate with Donald Trump, but once his integrity was challenged, Shula wouldn't countenance that and came back where he belonged.
Nobody looks at office automation quite like wax.
Isaac Curtis, the first receiver to go over 100 yards against Miami here. And he had one of 80 yards for a touchdown. That, of course, this year. First down and 10, the Bengals from their 11-yard line. There's Isaac. Anderson checked off, gets it to Collinsworth. And Collinsworth out over the 15 to the 17, a gain of 7. It'll be second down and 3, and we'll tell you right now this telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League. Need some help. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the National Football League is prohibited. No, I don't.
Well, you are a devil. You know that,
I say that's my job, man. The man's got my job. That was it.
That should have been why they handed it to him. Second down and about 4 as they mark it inside the 7. and Pete Johnson works the middle. He works it out over the 20, close to a first down.
We saw that little chalkboard discussion a moment ago over on the Cincinnati sideline with the offensive linemen, and it appeared to me they were trying to get a little bit better pass protection. The play before that, he could have stood back there another 3 or 4 seconds, I think, before he threw the ball. So maybe it worked, whatever it was they learned.
Well, he had to check off. He had to throw that quick swing pass to Collinsworth. They got 7 out of it.
Oh, I like this angle. This is fun.
Let's watch it from the end zone on first down and 10. Anderson has shown a proclivity to put the ball in the air on first and 10.
Proclivity?
You're infecting us all. Look at there. Got some time to throw. I bet you
coverage and a picked off.
Look who it is.
The man who has been victimized tonight, William Judson, gets the interception, but that was a poorly thrown pass into double coverage.
It's like he's
right in front of it.
He goes blind every once in a while. He had plenty of time to throw. See these big linemen are stopping back in the middle there. Man, that's just, is that fun? Got lots of time. And that was just one of those way too many green jerseys over there.
Look at it again. He was looking downfield. He shifted over quickly to check off the receiver, and Judson was right there.
But that's something really that Kenny has done so well through the years, is he's thrown so few interceptions. Thrown 2 tonight right in the arms of the Dolphins.
First down and 10. 39-yard line. The Dolphins good field position again. Marino wants a big one. Has to check it off, however, and gets it out low and incomplete to Nathan.
Well, there's Judson. Early on, having all kinds of trouble. Isaac Curtis chewing him up, but now...
That's his 6th interception of the season, but he's had problems. He's, again, in there for a real fine one at the corner, Don McNeil, that they lost in training camp. Heard so much about injuries around the league. The Dolphins really haven't talked much about theirs, but they, of course, early on in the first game, they lost Cephalo, Tommy Vigorito, out for the season. Cephalo, however, may be back. And at one point, they lost so many linebackers, they were playing Kozlowski as a linebacker. Second down and 10, Miami. Nathan works the left side, found nothing in the middle, slid to the left, and gets about 6 out to the 32-yard line.
Slid off beautifully. All-purpose football player, as Frank has emphasized all evening. Super value to a team.
You can see there, Kurt Schonert, he was the guy, the quarterback came in and played for Cincinnati when Anderson was out. So he may have a stronger arm than Anderson. Maybe it's just a little bit younger arm. But he has just recently signed a new contract with Cincinnati.
Cincinnati said Jack Thompson, as we look at Schonert, they said Jack Thompson to Tampa Bay for Tampa Bay's first-round draft pick, and that's going to be a good one.
Looking good, isn't it?
Third down and 4. Marino from the shotgun, safety blitz, and Marino times it beautifully to Oriel Harris.
What composure.
And Harris gets the first down, but credit that to Marino. He knew he was going to be hit. He saw the safety blitz. You'll see it coming from your right side.
He knows there's nobody there.
That's the whole key. John, your word, composure. He doesn't panic.
Looked like he may have hurt his right ankle a little bit. We'll see him again. When he comes in, he falls, and they fall on his right ankle a little bit. But that is really true.
Plays like a veteran.
Yeah. Hope he's not hurt.
That was Robert Jackson coming all the way from safety, and Marino was watching him all the way. He was waiting for Harris to uncover. He did. He gets the first down, 27-yard line at Cincinnati. Nathan gets the ball to Harding, and Harding's on a roll inside the 5.
Oh, is that fun? I like those kind of plays.
Well, he said he can do a lot of things. And as the final play of the third quarter is pulled off, it's Nathan, who's been running and receiving tonight, now throwing.
That looked like a run, and that's the old cliche. When it looks like a run, that's the best option pass situation you can have. The linemen were pulled out in front. Nathan looked like he was going to run.
Final play of the third quarter, 24-14 Miami. They're threatening again. We'll be back with fourth quarter action after this from our station.
Tuesday. When Madeline meets Matches,
this is a voice that makes the deer hook fly open.
She drags him to her high school reunion. Oh, Madeline.
82nd and Mountain.
Hi.
Peter Strauss, 7:30 tomorrow.
We begin the fourth quarter action. The Dolphins with the first down, goal to go, 4-yard line of the Cincinnati Bengals. Tony Nathan with the pass to Bruce Hardy, who rumbled inside the 5. And Dan Marino, who made a great shot to Duriel Harris for a first down on a third down attempt, is directing the attack. Hands off to Tony Nathan. He works down close to the 2-yard line.
An amazing league this year, Frank.
Oh, is it?
22 teams still are mathematically alive for playoff first. Only 2 have clinched, Dallas and Washington. Of course, the Raiders could clinch with a victory in the game we'll be doing Thursday night in San Diego. But in the meantime, only 4 teams are out of the race mathematically. Houston, Tampa Bay, the Giants, and Philadelphia.
There's a whole bunch of them with 6 and 7. Second down, goal to go. Marino with a great shot into the end zone. He hit Dan Johnson, who was covered about as well as you're going to cover him back there.
Well, he didn't. He wound that one up and fired it, didn't he?
We spotted Dan Johnson in the Miami-Washington preseason, remember?
Howard, he had to catch that out of self-defense.
Well,
he hit him right in the chest with it.
A little fake play action pass. Faked off to Nathan. Got some time.
Wow, what a tip.
And you know what? He didn't really wind up and throw that with his body. That was more with his arm. He was almost like off balance. We'll see it again. Good line play by Miami's offensive line.
Jim LeClaire is back there. He couldn't believe it, I don't think. He had great position.
He zipped that one in there.
Ron Sharman. Inversion attempt. Rob gets it down. And Ron Sharman gets it through. The Dolphins moving out now to a 31-14 lead. And we'll be back in the Orange Bowl in just a moment. Frank Gifford along with Howard Cosell and Don Meredith on a great night here in Miami. And a particularly great night for the Miami Dolphins. They've opened up a 31-14 lead over the Bengals. Dolphins looking to go 9-4, 2-game lead over Buffalo in the Eastern Division of the AFC. Ron Sharman drills it for Miami. Another deep kick. The Simmons will bring it out of the end zone. And Simmons up to about the 19-yard line, tripped up there by Paul Langford. A reminder, coming up this Saturday, Howard Sports Beat, Mike Glenn of the Atlanta Hawks, a very special man who deals with deaf children in a very special way. That's Saturday here on ABC with Sports Beat, and a comment on boxing following last Friday night's Holmes Frazier and Mancini-Torres fight. Brace yourself for that one, pugilist fans. Sports Beat, 3 o'clock on Saturday.
A double debacle. But the Glenn story is tender, touching, compelling. We're very proud of it.
First down and 10, the Bengals. They need a big one to get back into it. Rodney Tate. And Rodney Tate, second-year youngster out of Texas, steps out of bounds short of the first down by about a yard. This is Rodney Tate's first game back after coming off the injured reserve.
At halftime with the score 17-14 Miami, the statistics, as we pointed out, were relatively even. But at the end of the third quarter, the key factor, the turnover. 2 unbelievable Anderson intercepts led immediately to 2 Miami touchdowns.
They've been averaging 183 yards since Johnson came back rushing as the Bengals. They have 33 yards rushing tonight. It's a big part of the story. Rodney Tate. Screen. He turns back into traffic, runs into Big Doug Better. And he gets the first down out over the 30-yard line, does Rodney Tate.
Yeah, Coach. Glad you're staying.
I'm talking about you or Don?
White side.
I'm glad he's staying too.
He's a grandpa, you know. October the 9th, his son David and his daughter-in-law Leslie gave him a little son known as Danny Davis. Grandpa Don.
You're talking about Chula, folks. Chula.
Well, not the other coach.
No, I didn't. You're not talking about me either.
On first and 10, Anderson whistles one to Collinsworth. Midfield, and Collinsworth, who broke his own single-season record earlier this evening, set in 1981. He's also gone over 1,000 yards tonight, has a Bengal first down in midfield.
There was some question when Chris Collinsworth announced that he had signed with the Tampa Bay Bandits as how the team would have him, how would he play. And according to what I have seen and what is, I guess the players say, he's maybe having his best year.
Well, he's eclipsed his 81 mark, and of course, he will not be going to Tampa Bay until 1985.
And who knows?
First and 10. Here's Chris in motion. Anderson with a lot of time before Betters gets to him, but he fires for Collinsworth. And Collinsworth leaves the football. There's nothing but the Dolphins. That Betters reacted from the pass rush, got back, and scooped the ball up.
The fourth turnover.
No, it was Ernest Brown who picked up the football. Betters got the pass rush.
What's Brzezinski, if we can see him when he comes back out here? Betters is making a lot of moves. Caused a little problem in there. He still got the ball off. He gave him another look. Brzezinski had just bounced Collinsworth over to the sideline. Chris got back on his feet. You saw right there when he was hit, the ball just knocked out of his arm.
Well, he was really scissored, and you just can't make mistakes against this Dolphins team. Proof of their stability, they came up against a hot club tonight, and they're taking advantage of every fourth turnover for the Bengals.
And 2 interceptions have led to Miami touchdowns. Franklin on first down, and Franklin works his way against the grain. Good yardage. Pick up a 5 to the 42-yard line.
You stifle a hot club this way, Frank. You're proving yourself.
I think for the Dolphins to really, I'm not saying they can't win with what they got, but what's going to really come in and play as time goes on is they got to have a little better performance from Franklin. Here's that big back that's got to run in there like Johnson we've seen on the short yardage situation. Nathan is going to break some for you every now and then, but Franklin can come in. He's got to pick up his average a little bit. A little over 3 yards is not quite enough.
You got a point.
Yeah, it's a point. Not a very good one, but
no, it's a good one.
Might work.
Matt Moore, top of your screen. Cooper to the left. Inside handoff. It goes to Nathan, and Nathan is taken down by Glenn Cameron, who stepped in behind the pulling guard. There's a loss of about a yard on the play, and it'll put Marino into a 3rd and 7 situation. The Enterprise flying around with our good captain up there, Mike Fitzpatrick, and our cameraman, Art Peffert. Goes in the Orange Bowl. Art Pepper is our cameraman. The Orange Bowl, and it has seen a lot of duty over the years. Talk now of a new stadium going in up north. Owner Joe Robbie. Joe Rose rolls to the right. Marino again with a lot of time. Joe Rose, the receiver. He went in motion. Circle back deep, but there is a flag down. I think we're going to have a holding call against Miami.
You know, it doesn't matter anymore.
Dan Marino's pass completion.
Not since
this kid has put on a show.
Yeah, I was just going to remember when we were in Detroit, Eric Hipple, we had to look up who Eric Hipple was.
I wasn't there that night. I was at the World
I was talking to Frank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Hipple came in and put on a heck of a show. Now, there's a young guy. What are you up to? Somebody's holding, right?
Offensive holding.
Yes.
Number 79.
79, you ought to stop that. But Marino has had that same kind of night tonight. Seems like everything he's done has been a little bit of magic. And
we wondered coming out here, Don, you and I talked about it. How's he going to be? He's been under pressure all year long as a rookie, but how do you go on Monday night? He knows all of his peers are watching.
That's right, and those other 5 quarterbacks that were drafted ahead of him were watching, and we said maybe he might be a little nervous. He certainly hasn't proved to be that at all.
3rd down, 17. Situation that could make you a little nervous. On the shotgun.
Well, there he is.
Joe Rose far short of the first down as he gets inside the 45-yard line and out of Von Schaman field goal range, so we will see the punting unit with Roby.
We'll get a chance to check Dan out again, Frank, on December 16th, right here in the Orange Bowl against the Jets.
And they are rolling now.
That was one of the few passes that he's thrown where the receiver had to kind of break stride. Had he been able to get that up a little bit, Rose may have been able to pick up that first down.
You know, Roby not only gets distance on the ball, but he's got 20 out of bounds in 59 punts coming into the night.
pretty good. Try to put pressure on him, Frank, because of that. He only takes the 2 steps, but they're long steps and somewhat slow. And here they come again.
They went for it. This time he didn't go for out of bounds. He just put it up there so high his own men were down inside the 5-yard line waiting for that ball to come down. I mean, that cleared, I'm certain, almost the top of the Orange Bowl.
It did. It really did.
39 yards, and he is delighted with it. That was spectacular.
It
really
almost
was.
went up to Art Pepper.
We got to get our blimp out of here. Roby's going to keep hunting like that.
Oh, me. Yeah,
I
weird, man.
So.
McNuggets Mania brings nation together.
The Raiders and the Chargers in a special edition Thursday night on ABC.
Back in the Orange Bowl in Miami, and for the Cincinnati Bengals, a great kick by Reggie Roby. The rookie 6th-round pick of Miami has put them down inside their own 6-yard line. And they trail 31-14, 9:42 remaining in the game. And this is where the Dolphin defense, the stingiest in terms of points in the NFL, after 12 games, really gets tough. The Dolphin defense had only given up 183 points. The Steelers, up until Thanksgiving Day, were second best with 198 points.
Up until Thanksgiving.
I thought I said that.
45 points.
I heard Detroit. I heard you say that.
3-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
That's pretty feeble, isn't it?
Yes.
That's pretty feeble.
Hey, what it is, it's amazing because they came in with, over the last 4 games, averaging 183 yards rushing. They've been shut off completely on the ground.
You start looking, who have they been playing in these last 2 years?
Pete Johnson, overthrown, hard to leap high in the air at 275.
Right.
Up on your sneakers.
Wouldn't you like to see him rumble in the open field?
I know Big Bob Brzezinski would. Got a 3rd down and 7. I mentioned the 183 points, the fewest points allowed through 12 games for the Dolphins because the defensive coach, Bill Arnsparger, has, by the way, who has coached with Don Shula all the way back to the University of Kentucky through Baltimore, only left briefly to go to the Giants. But 8 times he's had Dolphin teams either first or second in points allowed defensively. 3rd down, 7. We're going to watch it from behind Ken Anderson. We need 7. Boom. Off the fingertips of Johnson.
No place to go.
And Gerald Small, who is coming up to make the tackle, breathes a sigh of relief. That would have been a one-on-one, like a train wreck. 4th down, and once again, Miami should get it back.
You mentioned
field position.
You mentioned Arnsparger, who, as we said earlier, may be going, maybe, to LSU as head coach. I think you might explain the relationship between Don and Bill.
My understanding that he has given him permission to talk about it. There will be a decision on Jerry Stovall at LSU this Friday. And who's to say? Low kick by McAnally. Colton Walker at midfield. And Walker to the 41-yard line. Stanley Wilson hustles down to make the stop, but Miami has the football. Great field position. 41-yard line of the Bengals. 8:40 remaining in the game.
Hey, what'd I tell you? Bobby Alston's favorite. Gentlemen, start your engines.
So yours, and it's all mine. Bring your thirsty stuff right in a rich blue taste of Miller beer. With what you have in mind. Welcome to Miller Time.
Welcome to the rich, smooth taste of Miller High Life.
That one will be a beauty. What a rivalry. Auburn and Alabama. 41-yard line, the Dolphins have the football. They have a commanding 31-14 lead. Woody Bennett and Tony Nason double setbacks now for the Dolphins. Marino, Nason inside the 40. Gain of about 3. As he is close to the 38, Glenn Cameron defensively there for Cincinnati. Dolphins now can look forward to next Sunday at Houston, then Atlanta, and then, as we mentioned earlier, a Friday night game, the first on Monday Night Football. December the 16th against the Jets. You know, Cincinnati, they're going to be in deep trouble. They won't be mathematically eliminated, but they have Pittsburgh next Sunday. Then they close their season with Detroit at home and then Minnesota at Minneapolis. Second down, long 7 for young Dan Marino, who's had himself quite a night. Great play, at least in design, as the tip was faked to Franklin, but handed off inside to Bruce Hardy.
Just using the clock now, Giff. 7:40 left and counting down.
Thursday night in San Diego. That should be one of our top games, I think. I look for that one to be a...
Sure, you'll enjoy it.
They're not too friendly, are they, out there?
You're right.
Well, for neighbors, they don't get along at all, do
They
they?
don't like one another.
No, we'll have the juice with us. That's an interesting shot.
It really is. Well, I got to be one of our camera guys. Hold together, guys. A pretty girl is like a melody.
Our cameramen get a little upside down here.
Yeah, that's good for them.
And the flag down, and Tony Nathan breaks into the clear and a sprint to the end zone, but again, that flag is down.
Uh-oh. That thing, they're
going to bring it back. Hey, that thing opened up beautifully.
It really did, didn't it? A little motion time there.
Yep. Procedure call against Miami. Negates a beautiful run by Tony Nathan. In my estimation, along with Marino, he has been the outstanding offensive player tonight. Yeah. He has given them a little bit of everything.
There's the third man to be considered. Super duper.
Well, I'll tell you. You talked about earlier in the game how Shula handles his quarterback. Let's see who did this.
The offensive team
The whole offensive
not
team.
set as one unit for a full second. Illegal motion.
Well, picky. How Shula handles his quarterback. There was an example last week against Baltimore when they were ahead 37-0 and Marino was still in there. They said, well, why is Marino still there? He says, well, a situation like that, I don't need to put Strock in there, and I wouldn't do that to David Woodley. He's worked too hard, too fine a man, too much of a competitor. That's something to keep in mind, too. You play for guys like that. Didn't want to embarrass David Woodley.
Third down and 11 for Marino.
He's got him. Oh, yeah.
Rose wide open inside the 5-yard line. First down goal to go to Miami, and Marino, he has been beautiful tonight.
Frank, that was very good defensive coverage back in that secondary. Rose had about a step on him. The ball had to be 30, 40 yards, maybe 45-yard pass. Sets up. Oh, there's a tight spiral. And look at that ball. Just dropped right over the outstretched arms of Joe Rose. Nice catch, Joe.
I was beginning to wonder if he had that spiral, and that one he put in really tight.
Oh, he's amazing, that kid. It's
18 and 24, Howard. 214 yards, 3 touchdowns.
It's like his junior year at Pitt. Same thing.
Well, it's nice. It's fun to see anybody play that well, but you're kind of amazed when you realize the guy hasn't played that much.
First down, goal to go. Near the 5-yard line, the Dolphins. Franklin. Under Franklin, breaking tackles. Ross Browner had him.
Now the line.
He kicked right through.
Oh, it's over. Now they say that good rest end.
6:02 remaining, and Franklin rumbles in.
Oh, boy.
Watch him break the tackle, a big Ross Browner.
Well, we were talking earlier, Andre really hasn't had one of his most productive years. But he did that time. Was that Robert Jackson, 37, that he broke the tackles first?
This will make them 16-9 on Monday night. I think they've only lost here on a Monday night, but once, Frank.
They haven't lost here that often, period. They love it down here. Well-conditioned team for one. Well, Thomas, perfect on the night. Ripples it through, and the Dolphins have a 38-14 lead with 6 minutes remaining in the game.
That's it.
They are out.
The Blitz folks are hovering around.
Well, the blimp folks is coming, they're dancing tonight. Yes.
Keep it up there, Art.
Well, I might have gone fishing. Way to go, Art.
One thing we're interested in tonight, Kenny Anderson needs 51 yards to go over 30,000 yards in his career. So that might be a little inducing.
Well, you break a lot of passing records in losing games.
Here we go, Von Schaman. It's another one. Carried deep into the end zone. Simmons hesitates for a moment, then decides he wants to bring it out.
Nice.
And Simmons out over the 25-yard line.
Well, he made it work.
A lot of times that little hesitation will do it. You get that defensive unit coming down there, get them down very deep. If you can break it, you can get a nice run back out of it. First down and 10, Cincinnati. Dolphins have played almost flawlessly tonight, with the exception of the one turnover.
Most points scored by Miami in a game this year. Most points allowed by the Bengals in a game this year.
Anderson on first down. Collinsworth. And Collinsworth with a gain of about 7 out to the 33-yard line in the arms of Gerald Small there. I already mentioned for Miami next Sunday they'll be at Houston, then Atlanta, and the Jets here in the Orange Bowl. The Jets game on Friday, December the 16th.
Ross Browner, you see there on the sideline with the ice pack on his knee.
Second down and 3. The ball at the 32-yard line. Steve Johnson in there to keep things honest and to provide a little protection for Anderson at this point. Anderson. Steve Johnson says, hey, I don't want that ball.
He didn't look around.
Okay, the AFC teams in contention for division title. Presuming Miami wins, which they will.
I want to see you figure this out.
Miami, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and the Raiders in Seattle. Why Seattle? They beat the Raiders twice. Other teams in contention for wild card spots: Denver, Baltimore, New England, the Jets, Cincinnati. We've already accounted for their expected loss tonight. Kansas City.
Third down and 3 for the Bengals.
San Diego, of course.
He didn't figure anything out. He just read what was on there.
Here's Steve Johnson. Look out. The collision at the 39 and Johnson to the turf at the 42. Mike Kozlowski.
He barreled
in front of that.
Barreled into 3 of them.
Like a bowling ball when he hits backwards. Bengals slow getting up.
Munoz, I think, was one of the guys that was limping off there.
I can understand the power of Anderson, but I don't understand how Jimmy Connors, Frank, half your size, hits a tennis ball with triple the power.
Don and I figured out it's all in the grunt.
It's the grunt. That'll do it.
Sort of like karate. First down inside their own 42 for the Bengals. Munoz has gone off. Anderson gets it into Collinsworth. Gain of about 6 out to the 47-yard line. Michael Broback has come in for Anthony Munoz, who was not limping when he left, but he obviously was in discomfort.
I'd be in a 2-minute offense.
Well, they probably are.
Would have been in it 10 minutes ago.
And Miami's in that 2-minute defense.
They are indeed. 6 defensive backs, Langford in, along with Colton Walker, Kozlowski.
That's silly to see moving around there. It's the 77. He dropped off, didn't charge.
Anderson throws it underneath. Kreider has the first down and lunges forward to the 42-yard line.
This defense spins.
But doesn't break.
You've got it.
They do that. They don't give up the points. Again, coming into tonight. Fewest points scored in the NFL through 12 games. They haven't hurt themselves tonight. They've only given up 14. Anderson now 313 yards. He needed 332 into the night to become the 8th player to go over 30,000 yards in the NFL. And that includes a lot of great ones sitting in the Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. First down, Cincinnati. Miami's 42-yard line. And once again, Kreider. And I think his third forward will be yardage for the first down. You know who's been shut out tonight is Dan Ross. 32 receptions into tonight.
That's right.
And zip tonight.
Good observation. And a great tight end.
Running out of things to observe.
That began about midway in the third. Easy.
31-yard line. Another first down for Cincinnati.
Thought I was going to lay it into him.
I thought you were, yeah. Now Kenny Anderson needs only 9 yards for 30,000.
Too nice a fella.
How many miles does that translate into? 5,000 to...
Look at there. There it is.
Collinsworth, and Anderson goes over the 30,000 mark. That really is amazing.
That is. Congratulations, Kenny. That's nice. Make more touchdowns.
Clock keeps running.
Had a tough night tonight. A couple of passes. I'm sure he didn't even see the defenders were picked off. But he's not an intercepted thrower. Last year set the percentage record of 70% completion for the NFL. He's a great one, and there'll be many more great days and nights.
In television presents You Make the Call. Ozzie Newsome of the Browns catches a pass, and in his effort to reach the end zone, the ball remains in bounds, but Newsome's feet do not. Now, you make the call. Is it a touchdown?
One video game system has the most going for it. It plays the most games, the best-selling games. In Television 2 and the new System Changer. And now there's more. A computer keyboard and baseball games so real you can set your own World Series lineup. And a music synthesizer. So you can create your own musical game. In Television 2, it's got the most going for it.
What call did you make? The ball is spotted at the position it occupies when any part of the ball carrier's body touches the sideline. Therefore, this is not a touchdown.
Those are the situations that have transpired. 14 completions and 18 attempts on first down, and look at it drop.
That's why I wanted him to pass on first down from the very beginning. You know that, Don. He should have been running this club.
Well, he did the best he could. That's where he threw his 2 interceptions, too. They don't listen to you all the time, but when they do, boy, they rue the day.
Second down, short yardage. 3 wide receivers split to the right. Good time for Kenny Anderson to go for the end zone. He's got what you could call a waist down.
Look out. He wasted all right.
And in the arms of the blitzing Ernest Roan, and Anderson down back at the 30-yard line. Now he's got a problem with the 3rd down and 9.
You got to look at that. It's a terrific defensive adjustment to that 3 split in there. Now, Ernest Roan moved inside. Nobody could block him. They didn't have anybody back there, so he just slid in. So I can get back there as quick as Anderson can, and he did.
Almost beat him.
Yeah.
3rd and 9.
There he is again.
And finally, Dan Ross with the reception. He's short of a first down. That'll bring up 4th down and a yard.
Well,
he's very close to it.
Glad you called attention to Dan. That got him a reception.
Also, you know, that was the same kind of deal, only Kenny got that one off, but Roan McGinn came through. Nobody blocked him, and Anderson took a pretty good lick.
That will be a Cincinnati first down. And Cincinnati wants timeout with 1:26 remaining to be played. So that's an opportunity. We look at head coach Forrest Gregg. To tell you, the executive producer of ABC Sports, who of course your knowledge. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football is produced by Bob Goodrich.
Yay, Bobby.
Directed by Chester Forney.
There you go, Chester.
Way to go,
Director Joe Chavo.
Way to go,
Director Alan Brum. The technical manager, Coach Coltrane. Unit manager, Herman Norris. We always like to work with Herman. Telecommunications manager, Jerry Reuter. Assistant to the producer, Jake Cutlow, Tony Tortorisi, Steve Hurt. Had a lot of numbers to keep track of. Do a lot of research for us. Graphs and all that stuff. Stats and research. Joe Cox, spotter Steve Bazika, Canton, Ohio. Eileen Katz working her way through the booth here with her little card. Like trainers down in the truck and a cast of thousands that brought you Monday Night Football from my.
I got to tell you, Frank, New York University, like San Francisco, is bringing back college basketball. I mention this because of Chet 40 in the truck. And I was down there this past Saturday night, saw some of the greatest players of all time.
So they shoot with 2 hands?
Like Sid Tannenbaum, Don Foreman, 2-hand set shooters. And I got to tell you, the little fella in our truck is still the best two-hand set shooter I have ever seen.
He was a great passer off, too.
Hey, wait a minute. I saw Susan Meredith beat him in free throws.
Yeah.
He was shooting,
Kenny Anderson, 23 of 34 of the night. The 2 interceptions hurt. Dolphins capitalized on both of them. 342 yards. He wants more. And nearly got his third interception by Gerald Small.
It was not his fault. It was Gerald Small's fault. He should have had that one.
Anderson ended the night with 9 interceptions. He's now 11 on the season. Again, he missed 3 games, played in considerable pain after being hurt in the second game of the season against Buffalo. We saw him in Cleveland when he could hardly move his neck, and then two weeks later against Pittsburgh, he suffered a severe neck injury and missed 3 games. They have a second down and 10 inside the 22 of the Dolphins. 1:19 remaining in the game. The ball knocked out of the hand of Anderson, and it was Pete Johnson who sprawled on it. Ernest Roan again on the blitz. He has been apparently just turned free.
Yeah, nobody's blocking him. See, he comes into the outside, and the backs are all going the other way, and he's just, there he is. And there's no way you'll get this one off. He comes from the outside. Pete Johnson's looking this way. It's only a one-back outfit. Tried to get a little help to the outside in there, but it went away.
And that'll bring up a third down in 19. Ernie Roan, he's the quiet one. He was a walk-on at Henderson College. Made the team. Didn't get enough acclaim. He was a walk-on with the Dolphins in 75. He's been a starter for many years and a good one.
He's just in the walk-in, that's all.
Third down, 19. Rodney Tate.
Look at Rodney.
And Rodney far short of the first down. The clock continues to roll. The Bengals at the 23-yard line.
Disappointing night for a man just down a couple of boots from us. One of the greatest men in the history of football, Paul Brown.
Yes, indeed. And this team, troubled at the very beginning, has a solid nucleus to maintain the standard they set in 81 when they went to the Super Bowl. I can tell you this ABC Sports exclusive has been brought to you by Buick. The comfort, reliability, innovation, and a real commitment to quality. See the 84 Buicks now, and by Miller High Life, the best beer for the best time of the day. Welcome to Miller time. 17 seconds remain.
He's getting better at that, don't you think?
Yeah, he's beginning to get on tune.
Well, I think it's this. He's putting something into it. He's getting into the thing, and there's some feeling in it. That's nice. Oh, well.
It's a happy thing to happen in the booth when there have been moments of recalcitrance evidenced by you.
I mean, there's been so much recalcitrance in this booth from time to time. I mean, I've been up to my knee in it, you know what I mean? And most of it's caused by you.
Of course.
Yes.
Always.
Always is right. I didn't do it, don't know who did.
Quick reminder, Thursday night.
Boy, Frankie. Don't let us get you way off.
Somebody's got to keep the wheels on.
Next Monday we'll see in Detroit.
San Diego and the Raiders Thursday night. Fourth down and 11.
Look out. Look out.
Anderson. Incomplete. And the Bengals will turn it over to Miami. And Ross, the intended receiver, and even Forrester said, that's it, folks.
See you next Monday, Dander.
Yeah, I look forward to that. And you all have a good time out there in San Diego. If you get a chance, go to the zoo. That's wonderful.
The greatest.
Yeah, wonderful.
Best in the world.
I always enjoy that.
Speaking of the best,
there he is, the great coach.
If he's among the top ones.
Right up there. The good ones seem to win every year. The Bud Grants, the Landrys, now the Tom Floyds.
I've really enjoyed Marino's performance tonight. He put on a heck of a show.
He really has. The youngster, the rookie first-round draft pick, they got him very late. Sixth quarterback taken. Great night, 18 of 29, 217 yards, 3 touchdowns. Dan Marino. And we'll be back for a final word from the Orange Bowl in just a moment.